Daddy Gang, I am so excited for today's guest. Are you ready? Ciara is here. She is a Grammy award-winning triple platinum musician. She's also an entrepreneur, cover model, fashion icon, wife, mother. I mean, goddamn, is there anything that she doesn't do? I cannot wait to sit down with her and get to know her today. I remember being so obsessed with her music when I was younger, fully had a dance routine to 1-2 Step. I still remember the choreography to this day. Maybe I will have to show her my dance moves. She like fully leaves and walks out. She's like, you're so bad. No, but in all honesty, you guys, if you think about it, in her 2-decade-long career, Ciara has seen ups and downs, but our girls always come out on top. And Daddy Gang, we're getting into it today. We are going to discuss toxic relationships, knowing your worth, leveling up in all aspects of life. This episode is going to be, I already know it, full of wisdom and advice and just things that are going to make you feel good, okay? So come hang out with me and Ciara. Ciara! This beat is, she's like, I'm not coming in now. Let's go!
What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Ciara, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you for having me.
I am so happy you're here. First of all, congrats on your pregnancy.
Thank you.
Talk to me. How far along are you?
Oh my gosh. I don't say how far along I am because I'm kind of funny on marking the time.
Okay.
Because the most important wish is a healthy baby and desire. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when you mark time, it kind of puts pressure on the time marker.
Totally.
But I am, the bump is bumping. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little, I would say big and slow, but you know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling grateful.
So this is baby number 4.
Number 4.
Did you always want a big family?
I did. I'm an only child. So I think because of that, like I used to always beg my mom and dad for a brother or sister. Mm-hmm. I'm like, please, 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 can you have another baby? And they would be like, it's not happening. And then I kind of like being an only child as I got into my teens. I'm like, this actually works out. It's all about me. Mm-hmm. I like it.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Airbnb. Daddy Gang, I have so much travel coming up this summer, and the thought of being away from Bruce and Henry for long periods of time makes me unwell. I'm getting a rash just thinking about it, okay? So anytime I can, I choose to stay at an Airbnb. Not only does Airbnb allow me to bring my dogs, but it also ensures that I'll have the privacy to really unwind during a vacation. You're welcome, Matt. Every time I stay in a house on a trip, I feel like a local. I can stock up the house with groceries. I can explore neighborhood bars and get to know the city even better. Being able to cook a healthy meal or just sprawl out on the couch after a long travel day is truly such a game changer. So if you're looking ahead at your summer plans and you're like, I just want to go somewhere, but you don't really know where you want to go, check out their guest favorites. Airbnb compiles all of their guest favorite homes into one place so you can be inspired to book a cozy getaway, a hiking trip, or a weekend staycation somewhere with a hot tub. Whatever you're looking for, guest favorites can help you find it. Sometimes my priority is a house with a gym. Sometimes that's actually a lie. It's Matt's priority. For me, sometimes it's more about like having the perfect bed to rot in. Maybe it's a hot tub, whatever it be. It's all about balance. As you book your 2025 travel, my number one tip is to check out Airbnb first to find the perfect place to stay because your accommodation can really make or break the trip. I am such a big fan, and this year marks the 20th anniversary of your debut album, Goodies.
Yes, yes.
It is crazy to think that because it's like you've just done so much in your career, but to think back to those OG days, I'm wondering like, what does it make you feel when you know that people 20 years later are still so obsessed, so in love with the original hits?
Oh my goodness, I feel grateful. Mm-hmm. It's actually, this is the 19th year, the 20th year is coming up.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but knowing that I'm about to enter that year, I feel a heart full of gratitude. Mm-hmm. It makes me feel motivated, you know. It's so funny because it also just reminds you why you just keep on going, like why you don't stop, why you don't stop believing, and you stay committed to your vision. Because when I was young, I was like, I spoke so much into like the things that I saw happening for myself, and it's kind of crazy. Like I had a goal sheet. So my goal sheet, I was like 14 years old when I wrote it down before I got discovered. I had 3 goals. So the first goal was to get discovered.
Okay.
And I wrote on how I was going to get discovered. So I'm going to get talent shows and all this kind of stuff. And then my second goal was, once I got discovered, to sell 3 to 4 million albums. And I did 5, which was a blessing. So check off 1 and check off 2. And 3 was longevity. So it was broad, but I was still like envisioning like long-term success. So to know that having a vision as a young girl, dreaming big, and it actually happens,
dude,
it's kind of crazy, because that's kind of the story of my life. Like, I speak a lot of life into like a lot that happens to me, and I envision it before it happens. And it's crazy that we're sitting here almost 20 years in.
It's also crazy to hear you at 14 putting that goal list together. I'm like, what the fuck was I doing at 14? Like, picking my nose and like getting on Accutane. I was like, oh shit. Like, damn, like, were you always that ambitious? And were your parents like, go Ciara? Or were they ever like, oh my God, slow down, like, chill, you don't need to be doing all this at this young of an age?
Yeah, well, my mom and my dad were supportive. And I always say, the one thing I can say I'm truly thankful for is that they allowed me to do what I wanted to do. Like, they didn't stop me. My mom was more, you know, she had more reservations than my dad did about the music industry, because she watched all those VH1 like True Story. I forget what they call the show. What was the show called? Do you remember?
Yeah, something like True Hollywood Story.
Something like that. We're
it never ends good. It's not.
Yeah, basically, it's like all the bad stuff. So you watch those shows and you're like,
fuck.
Yeah, it's a little scary. Like, is that what my daughter's getting into? My mom was thinking that way. So I think she was a little like, what's that music industry world about? But she still allowed me to do it. And she was super supportive. My mom and my dad my dad would travel late nights to the studio with me, sleep on the sofa while I'm recording in the booth, drive me back home, get ready for school. He was in it. They both were supportive. So, you know, I'm glad they let me do that, right? I'm glad they allowed me that opportunity, and I will never forget that for my babies.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta like let them pursue their dreams and what they're passionate about. So I've taken a note from that.
Couple notes from your parents.
Yeah, just
I love
few,
that.
just
a couple.
Yeah.
You've done so much in your career. When you reflect on your career, and I know this is kind of hard to answer, but like, what is the most iconic moment in your mind of your career?
Oh my goodness. That's hard.
I know.
You know, I will say, I think Goodies was very special for me, because it put me on the map. My first single was #1 for 8 weeks long. We were breaking records and all this cool stuff then, which was really amazing. And it was kind of that moment of like, where my identity was established like right away, but it was clear on like who this girl was, like Ciara from Atlanta, Cece from Atlanta. But here to stay kind of energy, I feel. And I think even the imagery of things that we did, like the swimsuit with the jeans, and I wear my tall boxer boots. I couldn't go anywhere without the high top. High tops are still my thing to this day.
I love
But the boxer boots were like my jam. I needed my wrestling boots, actually.
Yeah, I feel like it was something that like everyone will always remember. Like, it fashion-wise, music-wise, like... Yeah. As a woman, like, it was just so iconic. I remember when it came out, I like still listen to it to this day. I remember making up also like, oh my God. And then when 1-2 Step came out, and I was like making up the like most awkward dances, like with my friends, thinking we're like hot shit. Like, it wasn't hot, just to clarify, Ciara. It was not as hot as you.
I know, it's cute.
No, okay. But I just think about you at that young age though. And I'm curious, like, if you can take me back a little bit to like, what was life like? You're coming out with music, you're rising to fame, and you're only 18 years old. Like, what was your life like at that time?
So I was always super, super focused, super driven, you know, very, very headstrong.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I was like put my vision together for the project, I'm like, I want to do like this, and I'm gonna do like that, and I'm gonna do this, and it's gonna be this. Like, and I was very clear on my vision. Like, no one could tell me anything different. And I was very opinionated at a young age.
I relate in some ways to that, of just being like so, like headstrong and like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make this happen. Yeah. Sometimes I've experienced, though, you almost struggle to pause and be happy for yourself in a moment of like, oh shit, like I did this.
Yeah.
Do you have a moment in your career at that young age where you were able to stop and be like, oh damn, like I made it? Like that one I made it moment. Do you remember that?
I think maybe a small blip of that was winning a Grammy.
Oh, just a little.
That was a very special moment for me, because I'd always dreamt of something as like, that's like the Super Bowl for music, right? It's like, it doesn't get any higher than that award. So for me, that was super special. insignificant. But to be honest with you, my world was going so fast. So as you can imagine, it literally was like the first 10 songs in my career, whether it was my song or collaboration, they were all top 10, top 5, top 3 records or number 1 records. So I don't think I really allowed myself until a little bit later to stop and like really realize where I was. And I think you realize it even more when you have a challenge, when you face adversity. That's when you go, oh, you start to realize like, okay, exactly where things were. You know, and then when you're determined, you stay at it, you fight through it, you battle through your challenges, and you keep it moving, and you keep on staying on the track, because that's all a part of it. But my true made it moment, though, I will say, if I could pick a moment where I'm like, oh, like, was definitely winning a Grammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, I hope that's my I made it moment when I win a Grammy. Here we go. Hearing you, obviously, like, you're such a savvy businesswoman. And I'm just sitting here, like, thinking of you, because your career started so young. Like, what was the hardest business lesson that you had to learn early on?
Ooh, you got to leave your emotions at the door. Like, you know, there's a time and a place for sincerity and being emotional, especially as a woman. So I think early on I learned that, you know, I'm like, in business there's no gray, it's only black and white, right? So if you can, you know, find a way to manage your emotions, you know, it's game changing, because you also realize that a lot of people in our industry don't really care for your emotions. A lot of people don't really care in general. It's like, what can you do for me in this moment? What can you do for me in general? That's kind of the mentality from a lot of people, a lot of my experiences. And then when you know the good ones, you hold on to them and you value them. But I think being a young woman, being determined, you know, and all that good stuff, and having to like manage my stuff. Like, mind you, my parents weren't like, you know, navigating this world for me. I was a young girl, like hiring and firing and like everything. So the emotions I had to learn early, take them, leave them at the door.
Yeah.
Do
you think that, like, on a personal level, like, how did you stay grounded while you're getting like famous and pictures and everything? Like, where did you find your center core?
I'll be honest with you, I'm a spiritual girl, right? I think a lot of people know that. But so for me, my foundation was that I had faith. For me, I know who God and Jesus is. Like, that's important for me, right? Everybody has their thing. But I think that kind of helped to keep me like level set. The people around me, like, to this day, I still call my boy Jasper, who I met when I was like 14 years old, recording my first song. Like, he was there in the booth with me. So mind you, that's 20 plus years of relationship. My best friend and makeup artist, who's been in my career since I was 16, my first professional shoot as a solo artist, actually my first professional shoot in general, she did that. So we're 20 plus years of friendship, and she's my matron of honor. My team, I stay pretty consistent. I try to keep it like, I'm a creature of habit. I think consistency is key, but I do believe having that consistent group of people and circle of people that I can trust and know they got my back. I think that was a big part that really helped me to stay like level-headed and to be able to reset or have a place to go to. Because I always say, I don't care how strong you are, I don't care how capable you are, you have to have somebody you can talk to. Like, that is so important, because the one thing that is very detrimental to a person is when you bottle stuff in and you don't have a place to go. So for me, I think having a place to go has always been a great thing for me, or someone I can trust and talk to. Even if it's just one person, like, everybody doesn't have to know your stuff, like, you know, but just one person. If you have one, you have enough for me personally. And then, of course, I pray and all that good stuff.
I appreciate you sharing that, because, again, obviously, most people that are going to listen, like, they can't relate to maybe some parts of your life, but that's some of the most relatable shit, is like making sure that you have good people around you, and actually people that you trust. And it doesn't have to be a lot of people, but I think if you don't have good people, you can lose your way, because if you're potentially hanging out with people that could sway you or you don't trust, and then you have trust issues. It's like making sure you know people are there for the right reasons, which sometimes you can't. You have to just trust
100%.
And sometimes you get screwed over.
100%. You got to have people that, you know, are going to be honest with you, that will, you know, hold you accountable. But it's also how do they hold themselves? Like, how do they live their lives too, right? You can't have the wrong people feeding you, like you said. Like, that's when it is dangerous, right? And one thing I have learned is that when you're vulnerable, that is the most crucial spot to listen to the right person. Because you can listen to the wrong person when you're vulnerable, and they can send you completely left, right? Like, that's the thing about life. It's like amazing how one decision can change your life for better or for worse. One decision, right? So who's feeding you when you're vulnerable? Like, that's so important.
You even see some celebrities and you can tell like the people that maybe don't have people with the right intentions in their camp, because it's like, of course, like you guys at some point can be just reduced to like an object of like, go here, go here, go here. We're all making money off of you. And at some point you have to decide like, you're the one that keeps it all moving. So you have to advocate for yourself in some capacity. Like keep those people that actually have the right intentions the right, like they want the best for you. That's hard though.
It is. It's hard. But you know, my thing is like, there's a line in the Bible. It talks about what good is it for a man to gain the world and lose his soul. One of my greatest fears is to have a certain amount of success that's like the highest level, but to not know who I am. And I'm very intentional about that, like making sure I'm checking myself too. Like I got to check myself sometimes too. And it's like, I want to be incredibly successful, but I don't want it that much. I'm like lost in the end.
Right. 'Cause imagine it all comes down. We pray we all get to 80, 90. And you're like, I did it for all what I got. No one around me. I got nothing that I don't even know who the hell I am. Glad I got the Grammys and the awards and the albums, but like, and who am I?
Empty. That I'm so terrified of that. And I see it happen so often in my industry. Like a lot of the greats that I respected and admired, a lot of their stories, like it's not that beautiful story that you saw and why you fell in love with what they do. And I'm just like, man, like, that's not truly living to me. Like it can't, the success of my life can also be based off of the materialistic stuff and the awards and all those great things. Like that just can't be enough to fill my cup, because honestly, sometimes those things don't happen for you when you want them to happen anyways. Like there's still things that I wish I, could do, or I'm hoping to do, and it may not happen. So I've got to make sure I have a level set and understanding of like, what is my definition of success? Right. When you're so young, you look so far ahead, like, and you should look far ahead and you should dream big, but you're like sometimes so honed in on like, all these things that you have so much time to get to. And it's like, you got to have perspective, right? So you got to like stay rooted within yourself and know who you are along the way, because you can lose yourself.
It's so true. And I appreciate you saying that, because it's like, I feel like right now, our culture is very like, go, go, go. You want more. We want the coolest fashion. We want money. We want success. We want the big cars and the houses and the cool things. And if you don't have it, then you're a loser and you're not as cool. It's like, there's just so much comparison right now. And especially for women, it's just like the aging aspect and like, we're not good enough if we don't get there's just so much. What is something that you learned in your 20s that you still carry with you to this day that you can share with us?
Patience. I really, that's one of my favorite words. Well, actually, perspective is one of my favorite words, but also patience. I would say patience is everything. Sometimes, like I say, you want things to happen at a certain marker for you, and they may not happen until you're 50 or 60 years old. You just don't know, right? So to me, you got to have patience in the process, like trust the timing that's meant for you. Things are going to happen for you when they're supposed to. Even for me, I have to remind myself when stuff is ugly, I'm like, this is a part of life, right? You're supposed to have a little bit of the ugly. Like I say, sometimes you have to go through the ugly to get to the pretty. Yeah. Right?
Even also you saying earlier, you were like, I didn't even stop in moments, because like when everything's going well, you just keep moving. And the hardest moments are the moments that you actually are hip checked with you and yourself to be like, whoa, first of all, so grateful for the good times. Because this shit's rough right now. And you then gain that perspective. I also think what you're saying about patience is really important too, especially with people in this young generation. I feel it, of like the patience of like, the comparison is, oh my God, that person got that job and I didn't get the job, or I didn't get the thing I wanted. And it's like, we're comparing ourselves to the person around us or our friends around us. Everything moves at a different pace.
It does.
And the reason you didn't get that job is for a reason, because you're going to get another thing.
I'm trying to tell you.
It's hard.
Yeah. And sometimes too, things look pretty on the outside, but you don't know what somebody's going through when you're like looking at what they have going and you want what they have.
Girl,
you don't know what they're going through.
No clue.
Right? So it's like, you got to trust your own timing. Like, it's so much better that way. Like, do you know what's crazy for me is I remember like in the days of me, being signed to traditional labels, and I would look up and I watch other artists. Like, I'm like, I've been around the block for like a long time, but she just come in and she like looking like she rolling 2 times faster than what I just like, and I'm busting my But like, I'm like, I know I work harder than she works. Like, I know she ain't showing up how I show. And it looks like the world is just going so taken off of them. It's like, you know what? Like, that's for them. Like, and celebrate it too, actually. I think there's something really good about celebrating the success of others, because when it's your time, it's going to happen for you. Things take time.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so true. And it's also like you said, like if someone pops off so fast and it's so different, like we don't know what they're going through. Maybe they're also really struggling. Like, who the hell has popped off so fast and been like, mental health is at 100? Like, it's not a thing.
It gets crazy. And sometimes too, I think when you go so fast in the beginning, you don't have much to look forward to, or you don't appreciate it. Like, I appreciate every step of the way for myself because of what I've gone through.
Facts.
And I know for a fact I wouldn't have appreciated it if I had everything given to me, the world given to me when I wanted it, you know, when I wanted it, basically. And it's like me telling my kids, like, you can't have everything at, you know. Can you imagine how crazy the world would be if we had everything we wanted when we wanted it? Like, that would be nuts.
Nuts. We'd all be miserable.
Crazy. Like crazy. Like, we be running around like crazy town.
people.
All of it. I'm telling you, everybody be lost. Like, you know, like losing it too.
So true.
So there's something to, like, you know, the struggle. There's something to adversity. There's something to getting knocked down and getting back up. There's something to, like, all of that good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And just, like, trust the process. Like, if it's meant for you, it's going to happen for you when it's supposed to, how it's supposed to, and it's going to be so great.
It is kind of about the process of like letting things play out. Then you appreciate it more. You have more understanding of who you are as a human being. When you go through more shit, like you come out on top because you have learned experiences rather than just getting it all. You're like, oh, this was easy.
Yes.
Speaking of relationships, I want to talk to you about love and relationships. Obviously, you're married to Russell Wilson, the Denver Broncos quarterback. We love that for you. It's so cute to see. Like, it seems like you guys have such a healthy and loving relationship. I see online people commenting like, Ciara, like, where do I find my Russell? Like, where do I find like my couple goals? And obviously, in order to get to a healthy relationship, you got to go through things before you get to that point. And I want to talk to you a little bit about growing and learning and how you got to where you are now. Around the time that you met Russell, you were going through a really public and what looked like painful breakup. And I think about, like, leaving a relationship is so hard to make that decision, especially, I'm assuming, when you have a child. How did you know for yourself it was time to leave?
Oh my goodness. When you know you're supposed to make a super defined decision in your life, you know it from, like, the head to your feet, from your feet to your head, and your soul and your body. You know it. And it's almost like your taste buds change, right? You have a taste bud for a certain kind of thing, and then the taste buds just go. You got to sometimes also look in the mirror and reflect on yourself too, right? Like, okay, what are things that I could be doing differently in my life? Or, you know, what's a part of what I'm looking for a change, but what does that mean? So you have to kind of define everything about making changes in your life that are very critical. And, you know, I've talked about before, obviously, when you have a child, it's very important to me. Like, now it's no time to play around. Like, the whole, like, experimentation kind of phase is out the door. It's like, I am now responsible for another life. Right? So what am I doing? Like, how am I thinking that through? So, you know, and then when you tired, you tired. You tired. You know, and so we get tired, and we don't want to be tired all the time. Like, you know, I'm like, I want joy. I want to make sure my cup is full. Like, how am I living my life? Like, I always say, don't let nobody waste your time. Like, that's one thing, like, we talk about, like, you know, life and the trajectory of life and what, you know, it's like, I don't care if it's a relationship or friendship, business, whatever it is, like, don't let it waste your time. It's just not worth it. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, I mean, those are things that come to my mind, how I process when I'm making there's a pivotal moment in my life and in any aspect of my life.
When you hear people talk about it, it does seem like, oh, that's so simple. But when you're in it, it is like, it's really hard to collect yourself when you're trying to leave something and you're like, you're so used to something, even if it's toxic. Like, I have women write into me, Ciara, that are like, the fear of being alone sometimes is worse than the fear of staying in something toxic. Yeah. And I wonder, like, what advice you have, because it's like,
the thing is that what you do learn is toxicity it can kill you. Like, toxicity putting toxic things into your body is not good. It's not. Like, so I think it's like we have to be real with ourselves, right? It's like, what do you want out of life for yourself? You have to be a little selfish in your thought process, and whatever's around you needs to align with that, right? Like, you know, that's important. Like, but that whole, like, the toxic, like, is like, there's nothing fun about, you know, being confused all the time, or someone taking you on like the ring around. Like, that's not fun.
It's not fun.
No.
And I feel like from my personal experience, like I've been in some toxic relationships where it almost, you can normalize it. Like when you're in it for long enough, and I like that you spoke about it, like there is a moment, and I pray for a lot of women listening, like you catch that moment before it gets really detrimental to your own health. But like there's that moment, you know, but for a while you can like have full blinders on and just not see it because it becomes so normalized. I'm wondering, like, when you were younger, like what is something that you now recognize is a red flag, but at the time you would either like ignore or maybe like turn away from?
Well, yeah, it's like, how is a person talking to you? How do they treat others? How do they, what, you know, you do ignore a lot of stuff, like when you just want to see what you want to see. But again, when you start thinking holistically, it's like, you know, no one's going to be perfect, but you do want the one that's perfect for you. Like, and how many boxes can they check off for you that fits like what your desire is? And it should be both ways, right? Me and Russ, we always talk about being equally yoked. Like for us from day one, like honestly, I think it was a, you know, healthy place. And I thank God, because we always saw, we kind of saw a lot of things the same way. So I think that's more than half the battle when you're kind of aligned. Yeah, it's definitely like how someone talks to you. What's their track record? Girl, what's their track record? And sometimes too, like, listen, you know, you see things how you see them. Like sometimes you do overlook things because of your perspective of, and again, it's like you're trying to see things like the glass half full, like you're trying to see it from a positive lens. But again, like, what's a person doing? I think more than anything, it's like they can tell you everything. A person can be like, oh, I've changed and I'm doing da. And I've heard those stories before. Of course. I've heard that song before. But what are they doing? Right? And I think sometimes you tend to put the words before the actions. Right? You listen more versus like just watching, like, how are they showing up or not showing up? Like, and then sometimes you don't realize, like, they're telling you, it's like they're telling you the same thing in a different way. It's like, well, wait a minute. What you told me last time, you told me the same thing again, and you're doing the same thing again. Okay. So like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And
I love what you said about you and Russell. Is like, we're very similar in the way that we think and what we like and what we believe in. And like, of course, everyone's different, but when you find yourself trying to make something work so hard, and you're the one that's constantly forgiving or coming back, full stop. Like, red flag.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, it takes two. Yeah. You know, and like, how are you showing up? Like, you ain't showing up. So I ain't showing up either. I'm actually going, I'm out. Like, I ain't showing up and I'm cool. Like, you ain't gonna exhaust me to the, because honestly, you can lose yourself in those moments. Like, and like I said, it's one of my greatest fears. And I've been there before. I'm looking at someone, I'm like, you ain't gonna waste my life. I'm sorry, like, that's not an option. Like,
it's so scary though, right?
It is scary, but you know, you gotta like put your foot down for what you want and what you deserve.
All the girlies are taking notes right now. They're like, fuck yes, Ciara. Like, yes. But
don't be afraid.
No, yeah, you're right. Don't be afraid of, like, the best part is leaving. The best part is getting out. The best part is finding yourself without that person. And obviously you now are in such a healthy relationship, it looks, and I'm so happy for you. Just like, even when you talk about him, I can just tell, like, like, you're happy. And so I also wonder, like, when you go into a healthy relationship, I think sometimes it's so annoying, but like, sometimes we can't help but bring our baggage and our habits from our past relationships that we've had in our life. Like, was there anything that you had to unlearn essentially when you got into your relationship with Russell?
Leave it at the door. Leave it at the door. That, I think that's so important for yourself and your own sanity, but it's also not fair to your partner to bring old baggage that is from the past. Because then I think you don't give yourself an opportunity to fully be in that love and be engulfed in that love and to create something fresh for yourself. Before Russ came into my life, like, I didn't think he was gonna come into my life that fast, to be honest with you. But before he came into my life, the place that I was at mentally when I decided, like, you know, I'm desiring something different, and I was clear on, like, I was very intentional in that phase of my life, and obviously having my baby in my life, my firstborn, you know, I took that moment for myself, because I think sometimes too, like, if we go back to back, you know, in relationships, you also aren't having a chance to, like, make peace with yourself and to really, like, tap into you in a way that you maybe don't know you need to, but you need to sometimes pause, like, take a break and just, like, love on yourself, reset, get clarity. You know, the past is the past. Where you want to, and really truly look ahead, like, and be clear and intentional with that. So I think I will say the moment before Russ came into my life, I said I thought I was going to be single for like 4 years at least. I was like, I'm not doing this. No. I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. Like, I'm like, it's what's going on. And it's self-reflecting. It's everything going on, right? So I had, like, to go through that phase and that process and that journey, you know. And so in that moment when you're resetting, the things that are of the past they're starting to become of the past to you, right? So it's like you're already clearing up your mind just in general for yourself, like, not even for someone to come into my life, but just me doing this self-cleanse thing I need to do with myself, like, really find myself, like, who am I, like, what's this woman want to feel like when she walks throughout the world, like, what does she talk like, what does she think like, I mean, all these things that are about myself. I'm like, this is what I need for me, right? And then of course, like, who's going to be in her life, like, I'm thinking about these things, and I'm like, I mean, my mind is as vivid as it can be. And, like, he's going to be a man of God. Like, he's going to love kids, because I have a child now. I'm like, he's going to love to, like, travel the world. Like, I mean, all these things, like, I'm envisioning it so much that I can taste. So we talk about those taste buds. That taste bud starts to have a palate it's like fit for all that stuff. So I'm thinking that way, you know, already. So when I see it, I know it. And when I saw my honey, my husband, like, I've never seen anything like that. Never. I haven't talked to anyone like that. Like, I haven't felt anything like that. But I felt everything that I said. Like, I'm almost gonna cry. My hormones. But maybe it's not my hormones. But but I could, like, see, like, it was exactly what I was saying right in front of me. Like, it's crazy. Oh my God. Like, crazy.
When did you meet him? Like, what was the situation? When did you meet him? Like, what was the situation? How did you meet?
We met, when did we meet? What year was this? 2015.
Okay.
We met in 2015.
Okay. Where were you?
We were actually in California. Okay. And the crazy thing is we started talking early at first. We were chatting a little bit, and then we had our first in-person meeting. Before we met in person, we were chatting a little bit. And when he met in person, it was the craziest thing, because I was trying to make sure I'm doing this right, because mind you, I hadn't met a guy at this point. I hadn't talked to a guy or anything at this point. So I'm like, this is like, you know, it's a guy in general. And he was like, well, because I'm like, well, when we were meeting, I'm like, I also was looking at it from a friendship perspective, you know.
Ciara.
I'm just saying, like, you know, the build up before you get there. He was like, what friendship? He's like, I want looking for no friend, you know. So we joke about that.
I love it.
Because I want to be, like, really, like,
best
intentional
buds.
And, like,
get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, what you talking about? I mean, but he was cute though, you know. But you know, we're gonna go on phases kind of thing.
Right.
But when we met in person, the first time in person we talked was actually at my place.
Oh.
And, you know, it was it was the best thing for the both of us, we felt, because even though we were, you know, meeting as friends and all that stuff, even though we're doing that,
it's not a
you
date.
know, my son was there and my dad was there. So see the friendship perspective.
Oh yeah, you really were like, he's probably like, oh my God, I'm meeting the dad. And you're like, no, you're just a homie.
No. We actually talked about it. And you know, what did he say to me? He was like, well, I'm gonna have to meet him anyways. Like, Wes was very like,
I love it, confident.
Like, very. So I'm like, you know, so we meet, and again, that's not like a traditional way. I'm not telling someone to do that.
Yeah.
But because it's he and I, you know, you're public figures in our world, unfortunately, oftentimes I think if you put the cart before the horse before you are officially together, the world puts this pressure on you, and it's just becomes something else that it kind of like gets in the way of what, you know, the true thing is that's there could be. So we just were being private, basically. We were going to go out to eat dinner, and then we kind of like, let's keep it in.
What did you guys do?
So we just talked, and we were supposed to have dinner. Food was like, belly was like content. Even though it was hungry, it was content. Like, you know, because we were like talking and it was crazy. Everything that we talked about, like we were aligned on, like, and I'm not going to lie to you. There was one point in time we were talking, and he was talking to me, and I wasn't hearing nothing he was saying because I was like, he's so beautiful. Like, I'm looking at him, I'm like, he's like gorgeous. Like, because I didn't look him up. I didn't want to know anything about like him before we met.
Right.
So I'm just like, wow. Yeah, no, I was literally just sitting there, like, he's talking. I'm like,
You're like, oh wait, but just friends, just friends.
No,
Shit.
but the words are going like this, whew, over my head, and so yes,
he's
know.
like, do you agree? You're like, part.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I love that for sure.
I mean, I'm hearing what he's saying. I'm in the conversation, but I can't remember all that we were saying. You know, so
he's looking great.
It was nice. So we just sat and talked, and I knew, and I said this the other day when I was talking to him, I was like, this is something different. I knew, like, that I'd never felt what I felt in that moment. I knew this was a different man that I was talking to than, you know, I just knew, like, it was different. Like, so much to the point that I called Yoli, my best friend. I called her after and I said, Yoli, I was like, I don't want to jinx anything. I was like, but I think he's, and she goes, the one. And I go, yes. Like, I never said that in my life. Never said that in my life. So
it was meant to be.
Without a doubt.
But
without a doubt.
What was it about him that really impressed you that day?
It was, you know what, his conversation, how he talked about life. It's also a feeling too. You know, it's kind of hard to put in words, but I know what I'm talking to. Like I said, those taste buds are activated. Like, I'm talking to, like, everything that I had on the palate was like it was stimulated. It was like clear. Like, you know, and so I just knew, like, even how he talked to my dad, you know, and my son was like moving around, and at some point in time, like, he's holding him. Like, there was actually this funny thing. Y'all think we ever told about this, but where there's this chair that's like in my kitchen, and the chair is like about to fall over, and Future is literally, my son he's right there, and literally Russ like slides in the socks, catches the chair. It honestly, no, this may sound dramatic, but no lie, he slides over, catches the chair, and I'm like, okay. Okay, Superman, we got a Superman in a bit. I was like, no, but you know,
you were literally sitting there like,
no, it was just everything. No,
it was
everything
good.
About everything. Like, there wasn't one thing that wasn't something. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're saying too, and I think it's important because obviously, like you said, which I love that you're explaining, after a breakup of what you know you don't want anymore, and you have that moment within yourself, you quickly align of like, whoa, I got to get my shit together. Like, I didn't like how I felt. I didn't like this, or I liked this, and I want to bring this into my next relationship, whatever it is. But then when you meet that person, especially when you've had maybe not like the healthiest of relationships before, it's a feeling of like, you still have those like giddy butterflies, like we said, like you're drooling in the corner, but it's you, there's a sense of like calmness. And I remember I felt it with my fiance, because it was like, it keeps me on my toes, and it's so exciting, but it's like safe and calm, and I'm not insecure, and I'm not like, there's still that feeling of like, oh, you want to impress them and have fun, but it's a different level of connection where you feel like you've known them for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is.
Like there's something there that you're like, whoa, like your souls almost, this is like corny, but like it's like almost like you knew you were supposed to meet.
No, 100%.
Right?
No. 100%. Like, because that's what, and also too, like, and I think I've said this, but just in case, it's like literally the conversation we're having is so aligned. Like you're going back and forth, and you're going like, yes, like everything you're saying is like a fiery kind of feeling to it, because you're like almost talking to yourself a little bit.
Yes.
Right. But there's something you made me think about. Hold on, wait, let me see. Oh, with the giddy thing, right? What's so amazing, and I feel so blessed, because now we are in year 7 of marriage, 8 years of being together. 4 baby on the way.
Love it.
No, is that I still get the giddy feeling. I think it's so important. We always talk about that, right? Is that you still want to, like Russ always says, you know, I believe his dad would say to him, like, you got to always compete. Or it's kind of one of his things that he came up with, but you got to always compete. So it is that thing where it's like, even though you do build a comfort over time, you still want to, like, you know, you still want to make sure you keep it like cute. You want to keep it sexy. You want to keep it spicy. You want to keep it fun. Like we do date nights every Friday. Because in football, that's the off day. So we do date nights every Friday, and we stay committed to that. And we like it's something I look forward to. And the fires, they burn, like, you know, and you still feel like dating all over. The other night we played Uno at dinner, and I was like, and I said, babe, can we take the Uno cards? And he was like, yeah, we take, you know, and he played Uno, but it's the little things. Right. Like, and I was like, I had so much, I literally told him the next morning, I'm like, I had so much fun. Like, that's so good. So I think it's like, you know, it's all that, you know, it's like, you know, do you have someone in your life that's also down to try new things with you? Like, do they accept you at your lowest of your low points, right? Like every day is not perfect. Yeah. Like I've had moments where I look up, you know, and I'm going through a challenging time, and he's the only person I can look to in that moment. And he always has the right words to say. Like, you know, all those things are important too. Like, how does a person speak to you when you're at your low, right? In your relationship, because that's key. Like, it's really you too. Like,
so true.
When it's all said and done, like, it's you too, and you have your kids, of course, too. But like,
it's the two of you.
Yeah.
Even hearing you too, like when he came over, it wasn't just you. Like you had a son, like you have a son. You're like, you're bringing someone into your life that now is not just going to be a relationship with yourself. You need to also have a relationship with my son. Like, how did he take on being a stepfather?
Oh, he jumped right in. Changing the diapers right away, no hesitation. He's an amazing father. Like watching him with all of our kids is like, it is one of the sweetest things. It's one of the sexiest things, to be honest with you. I'm just saying, ladies, when the man jumps in and changes the diapers, and he be pulling up to the teacher parent conferences, and he be, you know, it's like, ooh. He surprised Cece at the dentist the other day, and she was like, Daddy, and I was like, Daddy. I would say the same thing too.
Like, Daddy at the dentist?
Like, yeah, I'm like, okay, you know. But it is, that's what you want. Like,
it's so good.
That feels good, you know. It's
so
like
good.
It feels good when, you know, there's something about a man turning on that part of them. Like, you know, they're manning for you. They're being a man for you, but they're also being a man for your family. Yeah. Like, there's no better feeling than knowing that when we all look up, and if we look at him, like, he's got us. Like, I know he's gonna wrap his arms around me and my babies fully. Like, there's no depth that he won't go to for us, or to make sure things are like right for us. Like that it's kind of hard to put that in words, but that feels good.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Neutrogena. Summer is here and the sun is shining. You need powerful sun protection that feels light on your skin. Meet Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen. This SPF 70 lotion absorbs fast with a smooth, dry touch finish, so you'll forget you're even wearing it. It blocks 97% of burning UV rays and is water resistant for up to 80 minutes. Lightweight, effective, and perfect for sunny days. It's just what your summer needs. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen. You can't feel. Shop now at Target. We gotta know, Ciara. What is your favorite part about being married to a professional athlete?
Oh gosh. You know what's crazy? I loved football before he came into my life. Like, I'm a tomboy, so I watched the game with my dad growing up. But you know, I mean, I think I say that because I think that I really enjoy the journey with him. I enjoy the highs and the lows with him. I enjoy his competitive nature. Like, I really respect it. Like, one thing about Russ is, like, when it comes to football, he is so dedicated to football. It's like football and family. Like, I mean, he's really dedicated to his game, and I really admire that. So obviously doing what I do, I feel like I get so much of a motivational dose, like, every day on his journey and what I do. Like, I get really inspired. Like, you know, you would think that I'm in the huddle with him when he's in the huddle. You would think that, because, like, I'm in this thing, like, but we have so much fun. Like, sports are such a powerful force. Music is a powerful force, so it's such a blessing to have sports and music in our household. But I do enjoy, like, the joy that we get, even, you know, like I say, the highs and the lows, getting ready for each Sunday, or if it's a Monday night or a Thursday night, you know, the drum up in our household with the kids, like, also being excited and being able, it's just a whole, like, it's a blessing.
I was about to say, like, tell us what's the vibe of the house on game day. Like, what are we doing?
Okay, game day. Okay, so Russ is a creature of habit. Okay, so he's like very consistent. So it's very routine. You know, he does his body work, his treatment work, and all that good stuff. And he's in his peace then. And typically when he does it, I'm with him. Okay. So mommy's like, okay, kids, like, I'll be right back. Like, but I gotta be there, like, in that zen moment. And then he goes through his motion to prepare for the game. And then the kids are definitely upstairs running around like chaos, turned up, excited, you know. It's not that serious for them at this age. Although I will say Future is getting more serious. He's also into sports too. Okay. So he can feel a little bit of the journey too. Sienna's like, go daddy! You know?
Get it.
Yeah, and Wynn's like, go daddy! I mean, it's just different levels, right? Yes. But we have that flow, and then he gets ready. He gets ready to roll out the door. We do prayer every time before a game as a family. He goes off to do his thing, and then it's me and the babies. We're getting ourselves together. We ride to the car. We jam out. I'm DJ Mama. The kids are DJs too. They all want to pick their own songs. It's all the good energy rolling up to the stadium, and then we roll into the suite. And then, you know, when you sit down, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, especially being pregnant. The emotional roller coaster is like, oh Lord, I be talking to myself like, I mean, it's just a journey. I'm like, geez, heart, stop pumping so fast sometimes. Like, it's crazy.
I love it though.
Like, it's crazy because you feel, like I said, I'm in the huddle too. I'm out there like, you know,
let's
in my
go,
own
boys.
way. You know, I'm wanting, you know, always the best outcome. So
it's so good.
But it's fun. And after the game, we eat dinner together. You know. Or whatnot, and it's pretty chill. It's exciting, but it's pretty chill, right? Because it's super. You know, Russ is really serious about what he does, and I think it's important that we respect that journey, that process for him. Yeah. You know, on a daily basis. So we try to make sure we kind of, you know, we it's a combination of all that stuff.
I love it,
but it's fun.
I'm thinking of you saying you're also in the car with your babies. I'm like, do you play them your music? Do they know mom's music?
Okay, when it's new.
Okay.
But I don't like playing my music back to me. I just feel like
I get it.
That's kind of weird sometimes.
Do you think?
But I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, tell me.
When I have a song that I really love, I might listen to myself a little bit, you know, just a little bit. You know, and my kids, they may pick my songs. Like when I put up Level Up, they love that song. I'm not saying because it's my record, but I really love my song How We Roll. That's my jam, and I ain't gonna lie, I put it on the other day and played it back about 7 times. I'm like, this song just feels so good. Like, it's me to, you know.
But also the same with like Loki and BRB. I was like, okay, like it's a vibe, and I wonder if Russell plays it in the car for the kids while you're not there. He's like, guys, this is mommy.
He will. You know, he's really big on like, guys, you gotta listen to mommy's music. He will make sure they know my music or hear it and listen to it, but he'll definitely make sure the kids, like, you know, support mommy, which is sweet. Like I think one day it was like the kids were having a pick between one song or the other. I don't even know what the songs were, but one of them was mine and one wasn't, and he was like, you better pick your mom's song. You know, so
like, let's keep it real. We know who we support in this family.
Let's make sure we, you know.
I love it.
Yes.
It's really cute to eat, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, you've won a Grammy. He's won a Super Bowl. Like, you guys are the ultimate power couple. And I think a lot of people look at you guys and envy you, obviously. And it's like, whoa, their life is so amazing. Like, when you do go through the hard moments, like how do you guys level set each other? Like what is the process of keeping each other grounded and keeping each other like
being able to be honest and communicate? I think has been game changing for us. And even when it's ugly, sometimes it's gotta get a little ugly. Like I said, get a little ugly before we get to the pretty. But I just think there's nothing better for me than knowing like I was able to say what I felt fully and he heard me.
Yeah. And don't you like it too?
And vice versa.
It's different in that type of relationship where, you know, like you're both trying to come back together and like you both have the same goal. Like no one's winning. No, we actually just have to hear each other, understand it. Where in other relationships I've had, it's like, oh, this is just an ego thing. Like I'm never going to win because you aren't even listening to what I'm saying.
When you say the word toxic, it kind of rings a certain way for me because like I said to you earlier, I'm like, toxic things can do damage to you. It can be harmful to you. So the glorifying of things that are harmful to you will never be cool to me. Never be cool. Like never be fly, never be the way of, you know, it's just, that's just not it to me personally. So
you have this great relationship now, knowing the relationships you've had in the past of like, sometimes you got to go through the bad to get to the good, like we said. So it is exciting for, I think, for women listening of like, oh, like even if you're in the trenches right now listening to this and you're not in a healthy relationship or you're not feeling good about yourself or it's an abusive situation, whatever you're in, like you can get out and you can find happiness and you can find what you deserve. But again, patience, like give yourself some grace. It can't happen overnight.
100%.
But it is nice to hear from you of like, it can happen.
It can happen, baby.
Let's talk about your music though, because like I said, we were all jamming to it in the office today. We were just like laughing. We were blasting it. We're like, how creepy if she like rolls up and we're just like screaming your music. But now I'm like, I think you would have liked it. It would have been kind of fun.
I might jump in and dance with you. Hey.
Your EP, CC. I need to understand. Who is CC? Who is Ciara? Talk to me about the two.
So Cece and Ciara connected. It's not an alter ego.
Okay.
But there is an energy that comes out when you say Cece. Like I turn my lip up a little bit. She get a little stank with it. I'm from Atlanta, so you know there's a lot of soul in what we do there. And you know, when I came up, it was obviously my nickname, but people would be like, you know, when they say go Cece, go Cece, go Cece, go Cece. Like there's an energy that comes with that. There's a feeling that comes with that, and it's, you know, it's. I would say. I really on this project, I wanted to make sure I had those core elements of what that is, because that's something special for me from a music standpoint. Like when you say go CC, when you say go CC, go CC, go, like there's something about that that's just like it's a little saucy, you know. And so, you know, that's kind of it. It's not an alter ego though.
Yeah, it's just like a little bit more of like.
A little more sass.
Yeah, like a little sassy vibe.
She got a little more sass to her. Ciara, you know, if you talk to me and I'm in my like Ciara mode, and it depends on the situation, I try to like, you know, like Michelle said, when they go low, you go high. Yep. You know, that kind of thing. Cece might snap back a little bit. She might bite back a little bit. Just a little bit.
I love it.
Just a little more, you know.
What do you want people to like feel when they're listening to this music? Like, is there a specific place you envision people listening to it? What's the vibe?
I feel like this music on this project is kind of like that perfect house party energy, where you can like kick back if you want to. It's feel good. It's a sexy record, but it's also if you want to like chill back, people, if you want to roll up on the skates or roll up literally if you want to, you know, put toast up to it if you want to. My song Two in Love, it's a slower record. That's a moment where I'm trying to remember, it's like one night Russ and I like had a little bit of a disagreement. I'm like, gosh, like the truth is I'm just too in love, you know.
No, when I was listening to it, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is like really like all about how in love you are. And I love it.
It's so sweet.
It's so sweet.
Well, you know, it's that feeling on that record where it's like you're upset. Like, you know, I watched this TikTok or something someone was doing and they were like mad at each other. It's like, this is how couples do when you're mad, like, but you still love each other. And like you slam the car, you let them in the car, but you slam the door hard. Yeah. Or you like got to give them food, but you open the fridge with attitude and you close the fridge with attitude, like that kind of energy. Yes. So like on Two in Love, I'm like, like he always put his arms around me a certain way. And like, if he doesn't do it, I'm like when we're sleeping, I'm like, I feel that. Like, but I mean, I want to be mad too, but I want you to put your arm on me, like, You know, I'm like, it's like all those kind of feelings. So before I put this project out, it's exactly like what I wanted it to be. And there's no better feeling than that.
Yeah. You now being able to do things on your own and figure out what you want to continue to sound like as your career continues to grow and expand.
Yeah.
It's just truly, it was such an honor sitting with you today because like you are such an accomplished woman, and sitting with you and getting any of the wisdom we can get from you today, Ciara, I know I'm taking it in note. I'm like, everyone's writing notes. Like, you're just such an inspiration, and it's really surreal for me to sit down with you today because I'm such a fan. And thank you, and congrats on your baby.
Thank you.
So happy you're expanding the family. Maybe we'll see a number 5 at one point.
Woo! You sound like Russ. Look, don't get crazy now, okay? Let's just go one baby at a time.
Thank you, Ciara.
I had so much fun, and congratulations to you. You were like killing it. Like, I think there was this new article about you on Forbes, and you know, I mean, keep on doing what you're doing. You're obviously giving a platform for women. You've created a platform for women that is very important and critical, and your personality is incredible. So keep on shining your light.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers. Woo!
Woohoo!
We did it.
Call her daddy.
Woo!
What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Charlize Theron, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to be meeting you.
The same here.
Cheers to It's Happy Hour.
Somewhere in the world.
Somewhere in the world, it's happy hour. We're cheersing. We've got a little vodka, and we're going to have a great conversation today. You're in your cozies.
Yeah, I apologize if I was supposed to get dressed up.
No. I'm
Is
usually
that
in my
okay?
cozies, and
Okay.
I
You
have a
great.
meeting after this. I would usually be wearing exactly what you're wearing. So this is perfect.
You look great.
You look like me today, and I maybe look like you in another life. Okay, in doing research for this interview, I realized we have a couple things in common, and maybe we'll find out more today. But one of them being, we're notoriously known for saying the word fuck.
Yes.
Yes,
That's why I love your show. Why I love your show for many ways. I just love you're very authentic, and I love your use of the word because, you know, if somebody uses it that much, it has to feel like it's coming from a real place, and yours feels very grounded.
I haven't heard you say it yet, but I know it's going to come out today. But I'm like, I've heard that you say it all the time.
Yeah.
I remember reading it said Hollywood Reporter profile said that you said fuck 154 times in 3 hours in an interview.
They'd have to fact check that. I don't think that's true. There's no way.
I was like, she's
That's
an
not
icon.
humanly possible.
Have you ever said it in a really like inappropriate setting where people were like, Charlize, what the fuck are you doing?
Listen, I have definitely, I'm trying to think of how to say this without getting the right context around it. I swear in front of my kids because I feel like, you know, I am a responsible mom, but I am who I am. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I also want to teach my kids that there are things for them to look forward to. They don't necessarily get to say that right now, but it's really fun because they're going to grow up and get to say what they want. And also just because sometimes it's hard to articulate exactly what fuck cannot replace. Like, I just feel, and maybe that's because my vocabulary is just not very strong and English is a second language, but it's hard to sometimes really get that thing across, you know, and you can special size it. You can custom it for your, whatever that fuck is that you need, you know?
It's fucking amazing.
I do this really fun thing with my kids in the morning when we drive to school. They DJ, so I can't DJ at all. So they all take my phone and they'll just like alternate with each other and like play songs. And then they got a little older. They were like, you know, it used to be like the clean versions. And then it was like, Mom, can we like play the dirty versions? And I was like, okay, just for this car ride. So in the mornings, this is now where I think they get a half hour of just they play it every inappropriate song so incredibly loud that I like lose my hearing. And we're driving for a half hour and they're screaming every single inappropriate words that they possibly can. And then I load and I can tell like all that energy's out. They're going to have a great day at school. And then I put a podcast on and I probably listen to you. It's like by 10 a.m. I've had a full life. It's a full day.
You're listening to like WAP at like 7 a.m. You're like,
100%.
fun. 100%.
100%.
That's amazing. That's
It's
fun.
great. It's great.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by White Claw. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're way too hot to be spending the summer sitting inside scrolling on your phone. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop letting plans die out in the group chat. Grab a White Claw and go make some memories, okay? Whether you're yapping poolside, hitting a barbecue, or just kicking back around a fire, a cold White Claw goes perfectly with your summer plans. That's right, Daddy Gang. It is White Claw summer. 100 calories in 12 glorious ounces, gluten-free, and the taste you know and love. I like to pick up a variety pack so that I can guarantee everyone can get their favorite flavors. I am personally through and through always a black cherry girl, but Matt loves the mango and Lauren's favorite is lime. So there's truly something for everyone. It's time to come out of hibernation and stop leaving everyone on red. We're finding a guy with a boat and we're having a damn drink. My friends and I strictly drank White Claw for an entire girls trip last year. And now I can't even smell sunscreen without being reminded of that trip. It was honestly the best time ever. There is nothing better than warm sun, a tiny bikini, tiny bikini, and an ice cold claw in your hand. That is peak life. Pick up a pack from your favorite local spot and grab life by the claw with your favorite flavor this summer. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer works. Chicago, Illinois. Okay, let's go back to beginning days of your life. You grew up in a farm in South Africa.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was normal. You know, it's what I knew. It's all of my friends kind of grew up on these small farms. They weren't like these like out of Africa kind of farms. They were called small holdings. We ate off the land and lived off the land. My mom grew. She's growing stuff on our farm out in Ojai now. She's like just a natural farmer. Knows everything about fruits and vegetables. So we lived a farm life, but not as isolated as people would imagine a farm life to be.
And growing up, you went to a boarding school, right?
High school, yeah.
If I was to ask your classmates, like, what were you like in high school? What do you think they would say?
Oh, that'd be interesting. I think there was a side of me, you know, there was a lot of alcoholism in my family on both sides and a lot of shame. That I think kids in general have about a parent that might be an alcoholic. Because my dad was like very, he'd show up in states that, you know, was just very inconsistent. And so I think my friends or people who knew me in school would say that there was a part of me that was very, like closed off and not necessarily sharing the truth about who I was in my life. Like kind of, I think I created somewhat of an alter ego that came from like a happy house and like my family were good, happy people. And I think the other side would probably be that I never really like fit in anywhere. It wasn't that I was unpopular. It was just that I almost like weirdly wanted. There were two girls that I very vividly remember in both my lower school and my high school. One was called Charlene in lower school, and the other one was called Marlise in my high school. They were both girls that I absolutely just admired. Like I just thought the world of them. And if you ask me today why, I actually couldn't answer that.
Do you think it was like their aura or their
Yes,
confidence?
I think it was their confidence and that they were authentically, truthfully being who not only they are, but also living the truth of their circumstance at home. I think that was the thing that I really admired about them. Not that they had, I don't think they dealt with the same issues that I did. I don't think that a parent that was dealing with alcoholism, but I still have this with women who, like, when they date, they're just like very open and honest. Like, they don't try and hide anything. They'll say whatever they want. They're not walking on eggshells. And I think that's the part that kids in my school probably remember the most, but I think now looking back at it, I understand why I was that way better.
But don't you think when you look back to like why you admired those girls so much, what you're saying also is like being that young and like masking in situations is exhausting. Yeah. Like, you wish you could just be out in the open, but family is family, where you still, it is a reflection on you, even 100%. Though you're doing nothing wrong, that your family is dealing with 100%. This, but you still feel this almost like pride that you have to try to uphold something, because it's like currency in high school. Like, what is this person like, and what is their family from? And so you try to create this narrative, but that's exhausting. And then you walk in the door at home and you're like, well, this is fucking miserable. It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's very exhausting. And it's crazy how we carry all of that weight. Like, somehow it's us. Like, somehow their actions are reflective of us. And it's a crazy thing that I continued in other relationships in my life. And I think I admire women who are just like, that's that. Like, that's not me. But that was exhausting for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it affected my life in a way that I think it took me a long time to be able to figure out. So when you ask me, like, how do my friends or people who went to school with think of me? I think they think of me in a way that was not really authentic me. It was a put forth version of me.
In dealing with that in high school, then I know, like, we don't need to get into all the details today, but you experienced such trauma at such a young age. How do you think experiencing that ended up impacting you in your later life, not just in the like, oh, she's not as authentic, but then once the trauma really hit, like, how did that impact you in the next couple decades of your life?
I think it was just, the first part of it was full denial, because my mom didn't really have the tools to deal with that tragedy. But it was also just years and years of this consistent kind of like walking into a house or waking up in the morning and not knowing what I was walking into. It's like what a lot of people say about living with an alcoholic, right? You're kind of living at their whim, like whatever they're feeling that day or wherever they are, that's what is going to be the vibe and the energy of the house. And that inconsistency, I think, was what affected me way more than just that one night. And I think what happened was that there was such a focus placed on that one night when that tragedy happened. And it was very, very unfortunate. And I wish I could say it was only a one-time occasion. This is something that happens in homes across the world more often than we want to admit. But, you know, I think it took me like well into my late 30s to really be able to look at that and actually like shake off the weight that I felt like I carried for my father, for my mother. You know, I felt like even when I got famous, like I couldn't quite honestly speak about it because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I felt like people were involved that didn't ask to be in the spotlight. But then I also got older and I was like, but this is also my truth. Like, this is where I come from. And I don't want to have shame about it anymore. You know, my dad was an alcoholic. He wasn't healthy. And my mom stepped up and protected me. And if that happened to me with my children today, I can tell you right now, I would do the same thing. It doesn't make it less unfortunate, but, you know, again, I can't protect people all the way through. Like, I have to also live my authentic self. So now it was a one night event in my life. I am still dealing with the everyday consistency of a lot of damage that I think I experienced as a young person, just in my every single day life.
I think that is so relatable in the sense that, like, if there is something catastrophic that happens that shakes a family or a relationship, that event feels very like palpable, and people think of that event, but
Yeah.
when you're living it, you're like, oh, it's kind of actually like not even where my head goes to when I actually think of all the trauma, because that was an instant. The rest of my life, my entire childhood was this thing of living with this alcoholic and learning how to placate or hide or defend and shield, and then go to school and pretend like this isn't ruining my entire life, and smiling and pretending I'm this like cute girl that is fine. Everything's fine. I know that you've talked about it, but you said later on in your life, you then got into therapy because you realized like, oh, this is really still affecting me. Was there something that made you realize like, holy fucking shit, I've got to get control of this?
So strangely, I went into therapy because of a relationship, a long-term relationship that I was in, and it was falling apart. And I think I touched lightly on, I was in relationships in a sense doing the same thing that I did at home, which is common, right? Walking on eggshells, trying to protect ego, protect embarrassment for a partner, you know, because of their behavior, and feeling like somehow that reflects bad on me. Like all of these things I was kind of repeating in my relationships. And I had a narcissistic boyfriend that said, you know, you're the problem. And not that I believed it, but I felt like I had invested a lot of time into this relationship. And I was like, well, maybe, you know, let me put my ego aside. Maybe I am. Maybe I should go. And there was always this kind of thing thrown in my face, like, because everybody knew about my life, like, oh, you must be this damaged woman, right? So I went actually to try and save this relationship. And what ended up happening was that I ended up saving myself. Yeah. So maybe in a weird way, I do owe this guy
Like,
some gratitude.
Even though you were the narcissist?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, two things came out of it. The therapist was like, you should leave him. Yeah. And also, by the way, you're not the problem. Like, other people have been the problem in your life, and you need to start admitting that.
I have gotten into therapy and it's changed my life too. And so I'm always such an advocate for it, but I know that everyone has to go at their own pace. So it's interesting to hear you be like, I actually went in for something that for sure was at the forefront of your life, and it was like an annoyance and painful, and you were like, I need to fix this. But really it's like, oh my God, girl, we have so many bigger problems than this like douchebag that kicked to the curb, and now let's focus on you. Yeah. Interesting. So once you got into therapy though, and you realized you needed to start working through a lot of this, did you struggle a lot with coming to terms with bringing back up trauma? Because I think a lot of people are like terrified to engage with it, because for a long time, if you just leave it in the corner, you think like, I don't need to bring all that back up. I don't want to relive those days and memories. Was it hard for you?
Yeah, because I became an expert. I practiced avoidance, right, my entire life. And also I was the product of an environment where therapy didn't exist. In South Africa, I didn't know one person who was in therapy. I don't even think we had therapists. Now, I might be totally wrong, and some South African person be like, first of all, okay, in my community, I never heard the word therapist. We also didn't have AA. Nobody was an alcoholic. You never used the word alcoholic. Like, this was just, I think I grew up in a culture where men were men, and a real man drinks. And it was a very toxic culture. But therapy was just never something. And, you know, again, like I said, my mom didn't have the right tools. My mom... And my mom does not understand the concept around therapy. And I don't, listen, she shouldn't. She didn't have it in her life. She doesn't know what that is. And so when it happened, her kind of words of wisdom, like, she sent me to school the next day. Like, that tells you everything. My mom's like a survivor. My mom is like, you wake up the next day and you get up and you continue, and nobody brings you down, and and that's what she did to me. And I was 15 years old. So coming to therapy was not because I was avoiding it. It was just so foreign to me. And even I'm of a generation where I didn't even know a lot of friends that were in therapy. I think I knew like one friend that was in there. And it was this friend that I reached out to and said, could I meet with your therapist? Like, I didn't even know how to get a therapist. So it was all very foreign to me. So yeah, putting aside the behavior that I had learned for years, it was also just like, it wasn't in my, it wasn't, I wasn't surrounded by it in a way where it felt very natural or normal, or I had easy access to it.
As you've evolved and continued to peel layers back of like how your childhood impacted you as an adult, I think I've even dealt with this with friends where it's like, as you become more therapized, you look at your relationship obviously with your parents differently. And it sounds like you have such a beautiful relationship with your mother, but like, how have you navigated being someone in therapy and dealing with that trauma, whereas you have then someone in your family that's not? Because I feel like there's probably a lot of people listening that are like, wait, so how do you handle those moments where like, no, mom, remember? And she's like, shh, let's go out to the let's go out to the garden, honey. Like, I don't want to talk about that.
In my 30s, it became contentious. It became because I think I was finding my voice. And I also I feel very protective of my mom, because I think that, without context and people really knowing who she is, and that, but you can ask anybody who knows her, she is, trust me, I cannot tell you, I can't go on a hike, I can't walk through a store without somebody coming up to me like, oh my God, I love your mom. She's one of those people that she has a superpower, and her superpower is incredibly infectious, but it's also very, very damaged. But what therapy taught me was that she is who she is. And I'm not here to change her. And if she doesn't want to change herself, that's okay. And for our relationship, there's enough compromise there that it works, that it doesn't feel like I am compromising too much or she's compromising too much. And we know how to kind of like be copacetic with each other and live in a very loving way with each other without me going like, I cannot, like, you are so unhealthy. You have, like, I'm beyond that now, right? And she thinks the same thing about me. Like, she's like, okay, whatever, like you with your therapy. And that's what I love about her. She's authentic.
Beautiful.
She's very, very authentic. But yeah, it's interesting, not to, like, I don't want to put you on the spot, but that's what I loved about hearing about your story.
Yeah.
It's just so rare to talk to somebody in this kind of environment. I've never had that where your story really moved me, and I was actually excited to sit down with you.
Thank you.
Because sometimes I feel like, you feel so kind of alone in sharing a story like that. Yours is obviously different, but to have trauma at that young age and what you experienced was really painful to listen to and to hear your family talk about.
It is. It's like such a strange thing when you get to connect with human beings, because you're right. Our stories are so different, and yet
so similar.
So similar.
Yeah.
And there's so much pain, and there's so much hiding who you really are. And I agree. Like when you were talking about the women or the girls in high school that you were like, I just was attracted to their aura. I had the same thing with so many women where I was like, I wish I could live free like that. I wish I could walk into a room and just be me and feel like I can just own it. And I'm, even if someone calls me out, I don't care. I can't get embarrassed. You can't embarrass me.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of my career has been actually searching to find a way to get to that place, because I wanted
you're there.
I feel so much more at peace. Like, even putting out the documentary, I feel another layer of peace, because I think that medium also is different. Like podcasting, I do this every Wednesday. Like, it's a thing that my audience is used to, but putting something in a piece of work out in a different format, I think was really a good way to engage.
Therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
Cathartic.
Yes. Because like I kind of had hands off.
Yeah.
And a director was like, I'm going to tell your story. And I was like, please don't ruin my life.
Yeah.
But like, I trust you.
But you almost had to not be in control of it, right? Like here you're a little in control of it. But
it was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And so I think that's how I also feel about therapy, where it's like, I'm learning. I'm uncomfortable what I'm learning about myself. I hate sometimes when I'm like, no, there's no way. And my therapist was like, keep going.
Yeah.
We're about to get under it. And you're like, no. Really? So I I relate a lot to that. I also was thinking about your mom when you were just saying how your relationship dynamic, you are a single mother, and your mom essentially after the passing of your father became this single mother role.
It was a single mother prior
To that.
Yeah.
Your whole life she was a single
Yeah.
mother. How have you kind of found a way to appreciate each other even more and connect on a deeper level, becoming a mother and her watching you be a single mother also?
Yeah, that's such a good question. I feel, yeah, it feels familiar, right? But it also feels, God, you know, if there was a cautionary tale, it was definitely their relationship and how I didn't want that. And I think in many ways, maybe that did. I think it's not just one thing, right? It's very layered and complicated, but one of those layers of why I don't think I am in a relationship was just purely because I still not it's a combination of like, I don't want what they had, and then also being very honest with myself and understanding that I did not have the capability of being healthy in a relationship. And those two things I had to acknowledge when I decided to be a parent. And I think it's probably one of the healthiest decisions I ever made. I think people look at it so like in our society as this kind of something must be wrong with her, right? With women, it's always like something must be wrong with her. She can't keep a man. And it's never part of the discussion of like, wow, she's really living her truth. Like she's living in her happiness. Like this is actually a choice that she made. I like want to just like look at them and just be like, do you know how fucking great it is to live exactly how I want to live, to experience motherhood exactly how I wanted to experience it? And I know the next thing they say is like, well, that's not fair on your kids. Can I tell you something? That will be their story to tell. I can't tell you. I can only tell you that this is the best way that I know how to be a mother to them. And maybe they'll grow up and tell their story, and I will respect that. I just know that this was the only way that I knew I could do it. And my fucking God, do I love every single day of it. I love that I don't have to share them with somebody. I love that I don't have to run every fucking thing by a guy. I love that I don't have to, well, oh my God, co-parent. I fucking love that I don't have to do any of that stuff. And my children, you know, we joke. Listen, I think you can tell, like, this is how I raise my kids. Yeah. Like, right? We don't hide this shit. They're like, oh my God, Mom, I can't go to Sarah's house because like her father. And I was like, oh my God, aren't you guys so happy we don't have to deal with that? And like, oh my God, Mom.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So this was how I wanted to be. I don't even know if I'm answering your question. I'm so sorry.
No. This helps because it's like you broke this cycle,
yes,
essentially.
I broke the cycle. I am raising, it looks from afar like I'm doing what I know, which is being a single mom because I was raised by pretty much a single mom. But I think I'm raising my kids as a single mom because of definitely avoidance of things that I know I don't want. And also understanding who I am fully and being honest with who I am and what I can give right now. And who I am is, at the time that I wanted to be a parent, was not somebody who should be having kids with another person.
I think that is the most mature, self-aware thing that anyone could ever fucking do.
With kids,
truly.
You have to be that honest because it's a child's life. You have to.
And you, again, sitting here being like, I've lived what a single mom looks like who's not actually single, but
we're happy about it.
Right. And
yeah.
It's like the autonomy you've given yourself to find your happiness and give your kids a different life and a different meaning to what a single mom is.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's thank you.
Yes,
thank you for recognizing that. I also love that I don't know what the future is going to hold, right? That's the other thing. It's like, this is like this moment and this time in my life now. And I mean, I'll be honest, I have tried dating and I can tell that no man's moving into our house while my daughters are there. Like, that's not, and by the way, I don't think I can do it. Like, I literally can't imagine a man moving into our house and me sharing my closet, or like, I don't see that happening.
Right.
But then I imagine like being an empty nester and how that part of my life will be. And by then feeling like maybe I will feel like I want to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
There's this notion that somebody like me must be missing out on something, and that people feel sorry for you somehow, that you're missing out on love.
And you're like, wait,
And-
guys, I'm telling you I'm good. And they're
Yeah,
like, no,
it's
no.
the thing that you don't quite realize until you have kids. And I'm not saying that it replaces one love with the other, but it is such a tremendous love
Mhm.
that I do not miss love. You know, I might miss sex.
Fair. That's fair. You're like,
But
my vibrator is only doing so much.
Yeah, no, look, the vibrator is good, and I'm having the kind of sex I never had in my 20s or in my 30s.
Love.
Yes, and so that part has been really exciting. But I'm not missing a relationship. I'm not missing the partnership that I think people think you miss when you're me.
And it feels like what you're also saying is it's not that you're not open to it. You're just at a
No.
point in your life where you're
Yes.
really content and you're really happy.
That's it.
And I want to also point out, because I can only imagine now, even you just lightly explaining to me the judgment that comes with a woman in your position. And we know women in Hollywood
Yeah.
who are single, and people are like, oh, what is actually fucking
Yeah.
wrong with her?
Yeah, she must be a real bitch.
How-
What a cunt.
Truly, like, you fucking cunt. How crazy are you?
Yeah, how crazy are you?
Truly.
Yeah.
But how gorgeous to also hear you saying, like, everything you're saying makes me more wanting to put it back on other people who are so triggered of, like, how many relationships do we know of these women in these households with these men who have lost their voice, who are not happy? It's not everyone, but being alone, you have that control that a lot of people don't have in these certain relationships that they've lost themselves to. So I think it's commendable that you're like, I know myself enough. I'm going to stay right here until I want to change it. And then maybe I'll
Yeah.
change it.
Yeah.
But guess what? It's your decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I watch you with your husband, and I'm like, God, that's so incredible. And why can't we just, as women, experience these two, have these two very different experiences, and let that be okay?
Be
You know?
completely okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I never thought I was going to be someone that was
Yeah.
going to get married.
You work with your husband.
And it works. And I'm like,
Yes,
well, fuck.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
I get why people have opinions, but I'm like, but I'm happy.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, yeah, exactly. Everybody will always
Everyone.
have it's like an asshole.
Like,
we
leave-
all have one. It's like, please. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah. At my age, I'm like, I honestly, there's like I can't make enough zero fucks. Like, I'm like,
I love that from you, though. Immediately when
Okay,
you sat
good.
down, I was like, I fucking love you. Like,
Oh,
this energy
okay.
is
All
what we
right.
need. The
Oh,
girls
good,
need this
good,
energy.
good.
Okay, let's go back. 19 years old. Your
Yeah.
mom buys you a plane ticket to LA and is like, one way, you're going to become an actress. Go. And you land. What the fuck was the plan?
well, I think now you understand a little bit better that she was like, the next morning, she was like, you're going to school.
Right.
Right. So I was in New York. I was living in somebody's basement. I was there. I did not have, I think I overstayed on a tourist visa. So I was kind of in this no man's land of, I wasn't there legally. I couldn't really dance anymore. I wasn't happy with my life. I felt like my only other option was to go back to South Africa, a country that was in tremendous turmoil at the time, at the brink of civil war breaking out. And I had nothing really to go back to. I like, when I had to like think about how was I going to survive, I was like, am I really going to like take over my mom's construction company? Like I was willing to take, and also when you're young, you're fucking insane. You're so stupid, so naive. I was like, this sounds like the best idea ever. Yes, let's get a one-way ticket to this place called Hollywood, and I will get on this plane, mother, with this credit card that there's no money in there. I know, but you're trying to make me feel better about. And I know nobody, and I will get in a cab and I will go and find some motel to live in. Those were better options than getting on a plane and going back to South Africa for me at that time.
So you get there, and like, how are you initially making ends meet before you get all
Modeling, yeah.
Modeling,
So
okay.
modeling was kind of my waitressing job.
Okay.
'Cause turns out nobody's really checking your visa. They every once in a while will get you an O1, but they don't really care. Or back then.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to take this out. Oh,
You got it.
I tore my intercortal muscles or whatever.
How?
Intercostal muscles.
By doing something.
Yeah, I did something stupid. But anyway,
Get cozy.
so I got here. I didn't know anybody, but modeling was always kind of an income for me.
When you started making money, what did you spend your first like big paycheck on? Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Tinder. Daddy Gang. You know that feeling of finding an amazing hole-in-the-wall restaurant when you're traveling to a foreign city? There is truly nothing better than having the best meal of your life surrounded by locals where nobody knows you're a tourist. Well, with Tinder's help, you can have more moments like that and get a true taste of the local life. Tinder's passport mode can be the best travel companion when you're looking for a local tour guide in any city in the world. Try Tinder Passport globally to connect locally during your travels or even before you start packing, all while making traveling to a new place feel easier. With Tinder's help, add more plans to your itinerary by matching with a local and setting a date to see the city through their eyes. Passport mode is also a great way to help immerse yourself deeper into the culture and have more authentic experiences while traveling. With Passport mode, there's so much to discover. Explore all of the possibilities for yourself. Tinder, it starts with a swipe. Download Tinder today. When you started making money, what did you spend your first like big paycheck on?
Well, I didn't make any money for a while. I was really like not even like paycheck to paycheck. I was like I was waiting for 2 paychecks to fill in. The first job as a model that I ever got that I remember going to the bank and cashing this check for $75,000. And I can tell you exactly what I wore that day. I can tell you exactly how I felt. I can tell you how I walked to my Ford Escort. Like it's so vivid in my mind because it was a moment of complete freedom. Like it's so hard to explain, but I think women or having financial freedom is something that is so important. And when you don't have it and then one day you feel like you have it, it's a feeling that you never forget.
You never forget and you never want to go back.
No.
You're like, oh.
But I also like stupidly, I was like, well, I'm done. I'm set for life. Like I was like,
I'm balling.
yeah, like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about that again, you know? But I didn't spend it on anything.
Nothing.
Just to, yeah, I was so scared of having to like go back to South Africa.
You start getting into Hollywood as a young woman. Like, what were your first impressions of Hollywood?
It was confusing, you know, because I didn't have really, I didn't know what it was. So I was kind of like, you have to understand where I was raised, we had television from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock. Like we had 3 hours of television and then we had nothing. And my access to Hollywood was so limited. We had a magazine that would write about celebrities. That was really the only information that I ever got about celebrities. I watched movies and thought that it was like a job that your neighbor did. I didn't know they were celebrities. I thought that Tom Hanks was just some guy that had this job and he was an actor. That status thing didn't exist for me. So when I got here, it was crazy. I was like, oh shit, like people are like celebrities here. So it was very strange for me. But again, I was just so excited.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
I want to ask you about one of your early auditions that you had in the industry where a director asked you to go to his house for an audition late on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Can you just explain what happened when you got there?
Yeah. I didn't know what an audition or what the process really, what that looked like. An agency that I was working at as a model, I said, listen, I'm interested, so naively, didn't know how you went about being an actor. I said, if you hear of any auditions, I'd like to go. And they said, oh, we think there's a casting for this movie. and you have to go on Saturday night. And they gave me the address, and it was this director's house. And the little voice inside me definitely said, this isn't right. But then the other voice in me says, well, I don't know. Maybe it is right. But you know, that like that voice that we don't listen to, that voice knew. That voice was like, this isn't right. And it wasn't right.
And as women, like we're constantly in positions where we almost like we want to be like, no, I'm overreacting. Like, there's no way I'm going to get there and it's going to be weird. There's no way.
And
like,
even when it is weird, you're talking yourself out of, this isn't weird. Like, no, I'm taking this the wrong way. That's not what he's mean. But that he's not. And by the way, this guy, he got a little nervous for a while there. I've never said his name because honestly, I don't want the story to be about him. You know, honestly, it's not because I'm protecting him or anything, but he got nervous for a little bit.
Why?
Because he heard me tell the story and he knew it was about him. And he wrote me a pretend letter trying to explain his behavior and how I must have misunderstood it, which is classic, isn't it? It's so classic.
No, Charlize.
Yeah.
He wrote you a letter?
Yeah, because I think he panicked. He started panicking.
Of course.
He was like waiting for me. And I just realized, like, I won't even fucking say your name because you know you're the scumbag. Like, you know it's you. And if anybody ever asked me about him, I would be completely honest. And he knows that. And I kind of like that he's got to be on a hot seat. He doesn't know when it's going to come. I kind of like that a little more.
I'm so sorry because, like, I opened up in my documentary about this person in a position of power that abused their power and sexually harassed me and all the things. And coming forward about it, I had like such anxiety. And it's interesting because it's like, you're in a position of power now. You were so young in your career. From what I understand, this was like a huge director.
Yeah, huge.
And the power imbalance being there in that room on a late Saturday night, what the fuck are you going to do? And most people would be like, well, why didn't you just get up and leave and yell and go immediately report it? And it's like, it's so nuanced and complicated. Like, can you just explain, because I have so many women listening, like a little bit about in those moments now when you look back, how to not feel such shame and guilt for something that clearly was not your fault?
Yeah, it's so hard to even, it's like we can only share these experiences and we can talk about them enough so that hopefully it becomes normalized, that we hear it enough where women can just go like, okay, I've heard about this time. Like, and while you're sitting in there, you can hopefully say like, okay, force yourself to do this thing that we maybe, the point that I'm trying to make is that we have to be careful because it's very hard for people to understand why someone with a strong personality, someone who's outspoken, how someone like that can find themselves in a position where they won't say something. And that is the story that it's a classic story, right? It's very, very complicated. And even though I want younger generations of women to not do the same thing, I also understand if they do the same thing, because I drove up Laurel Canyon and I was so mad at myself. I remember like being furious with myself because I couldn't believe how I had let myself down. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Like, why the fuck would you allow that? Like, why? I still get those feelings, you know, because it's like you know yourself so well, and there's something that really like kind of like breaks my heart to the core when people so in this very luxurious manner talk about, well, you know what, next time you should fucking say something. Like, don't wait 20 years, okay? This kind of like callous way of not wanting to believe. Like, that's really what it boils down to. It's instead of saying like, I don't believe you, it's like, well, don't be a fucking pussy. Like, maybe you shouldn't have been a pussy about it. And we all know what that feels like. It feels like no matter what they say, it can't hurt more than what you're telling yourself. Like, I beat myself up over that. I was like, you can say whatever that you want, motherfucker. Trust me, you can't hurt me more than I hurt myself about what happened that day.
I mean, even just listening to you say it, it's so it brings up so much, I think, for every woman probably listening, because you're so right in those moments. I remember I was sitting, every time I talk about it, it makes me emotional, because when I was sitting on the stage at Tribeca, because that's where my documentary premiered, and I did a Q&A after, and I started talking about power imbalance, and when someone does something to you and you're in this moment and you freeze or you fawn or whatever it be, and I'm looking at the audience, and there's like a couple hundred people in this audience, and I'm looking at all these women's faces, and multiple women have just like that look where I almost wanted to pause and be like,
I see you. Yeah.
How many women in this room? How many? And I'm not kidding you, Charlize. I literally think almost every fucking hand would have gone up. And it breaks my heart, because I'm like, holy shit, this is happening as we're sitting here. Some woman is experiencing this feeling. And I agree with you. I think for me, I relate a lot to what you're saying of being someone that's so outspoken. I do think a lot of people are like, there's no way that would happen to you. There's no way. And it's like, oh no, the minute you're in that room, you're not yourself. You are the smallest version of yourself. You don't even remember who you are. And the minute you walk out the door, you kind of start to remember. And that's when the shame hits you, because you're like, wait, how did I not just... I said it to my husband less than a year ago. I had an executive say some of the most insane shit to me. And I'm Alex Cooper. I'm me. I'm supposed... Literally froze.
Yeah.
Froze.
Yeah.
So if it's happening to me now, and it happened to me back then when I didn't have a voice, there is no through line of this can't happen to her. It doesn't matter where the fuck you are on the totem pole of power and success as a woman. When those men get you in that position, or there's a power imbalance, you're fucked.
Or in your case, a woman. I think that story isn't told enough.
Definitely not.
So I'm grateful, and I really respect your choice in wanting to tell that story, because I think, just as I feel like when I meet men who have experienced this kind of power play, I think that we need to tell these stories so that we can understand that we're not alone. Like, that's the thing, right? And it's hard to tell them in a world where people don't want to fucking believe you. It's really, really hard. Doesn't make it easy for us. And when it starts to sound repetitious and it's like, oh, it's the same story again. It's like, yeah, but guess what? We're all made of the same fucking we're human beings. And until you are in this fucking environment, don't tell me how you're going to behave, because I will not let a motherfucker fuck with me any day of the week. Like, step up. But when somebody catches you off guard like that, I don't want to get emotional about it, but I think it's the fact that it's in an instant, within seconds, somebody is telling you your value, and they're telling you you're not really that valuable. Because guess what? I was never going to get a part that night. And I knew that as soon as I left. Like, when I was driving up Laurel Canyon, I knew I wasn't there because I had some value that I was going to bring to this man's movie. I was there for one thing. I was only valued for one thing. That was it. So when somebody does that to you, you will fucking freeze. No matter who you are, you will fucking freeze.
And the conversation you also brought up of, why did it take you so long, right? Yeah. I had experienced some people being like, oh, 10 years? It took you 10 years?
Yeah. Now that you have this platform, now all of a sudden you want to talk about it.
And it's like, 10 years, yes. Because like you just said, when you're driving up Laurel and you're leaving that moment, and how quickly you realize your worth and who you are, and then you're mad at yourself, it starts to almost seep into every single decision and interaction you go forward having in that industry, whether or in your relationships, whatever it seeps into. So yes, it took me that long, because I had to repair what that person broke in me, and I had to find a way back, and it still fucking hurts, and I still feel uncomfortable, and I still cry about it. There's no closure, but there's a little bit of a semblance of healing. But yeah, it took 10 fucking years. And sometimes people are going to live the rest of their lives and never get to feel any bit of healing. So like, there is no timeline.
There's also the complication of, I feel when I watch your documentary, how much you love playing soccer. Someone's taking something away from you that you love so much. So there's that fear on top of it, right? Like I remember I had this constant kind of worry for myself. Like I was like, if I don't make this work, like the alternative is just so fucking dark. Like I don't want to have this other life. And so that was like the added thing on top of it was like, they're fucking with something that you really love. So it makes it even harder. It makes it more complicated. That's their power.
Yes.
That's their power over you.
That's the why didn't you speak up? But
Yeah.
most of these women are sitting there and like, this is my job.
Yeah.
This is what it's so complicated. So I think the takeaway for any woman listening is also just like, we see you.
Yeah.
There is no answer, but.
And we're not sitting here saying because of our experiences, you should do this. You're probably not.
And we understand.
And we need to be a community that can support each other. We can stand together.
Truly.
Yeah. And fuck those fuckers.
Fuck those pieces of fucking shit.
Fuck those fuckers.
You fucking motherfucking ass bitch. Fuck you. What have you learned? That's the beginning of your career. What have you then learned about your own strength through this crazy time in the industry that you've had?
I feel fortunate that that I think I don't mean this in like a feel sorry for me way, but I feel like I had a hard childhood. I think it set me up for an industry that's hard. I'm hoping that it can become less hard. I'm trying to be part of solving the problem. But I think it was the thing that helped me. It kind of set me up in a way where I was so the fish out of water. Like, you don't understand. Like, if you look at a map, that's where I was. And this is like, it was so, I'd never been on a plane. Like I'd never left South Africa. It was so insane to be that kind of a fish out of water. But the core of my experience as a child and being a survivor really, really helped me. It just really helped me to kind of, and this is not, I'm not prescribing this to anybody because I don't want this for my own daughters, but I could suck it up.
Though coming from a situation where you weren't really privy to the information about Hollywood, you had a really rough childhood, then you get here. Like, did you ever get to a point where you felt like you could lean in and be proud of your success, or what is your relationship to success? Like, have you had like an I made it moment and you're like, this is fucking
when
great.
I got that $75,000, I was like, I'm done. I have had many moments like that because I think I always, I think what happens when you experience death at a young age, I'm not speaking for everybody, but for me, it made me hyper aware of time. And I also think that growing up in South Africa, at the time that I did, when AIDS just ravaged my country in a way, it brought it to its knees. As a woman, you just couldn't help but feel like you were going to die of AIDS. Like, that's just what it was like. Like, I had this constant fear every time I had sex with somebody. I was like, I have AIDS. Like, I would go and get tested. And so I had this constant feeling of time running out. So when good shit came my way, I really I felt it. But I also felt this thing kind of chasing me, like, time's going to run out, time's going to run out, time's going to run out. Like, you got to get it all in. You got to pack it all in. You got to get it done, which is a horrible way to go through your 20s. So I have had I've had great success, and I've had a ton of great opportunities come my way. I've always said this. I really believe this. It is not just about talent. There are people out there that I know that are way surpass my talent, that will never have the opportunities that I had to showcase them. These are all things that I'm so aware of. So I try to, it's gotten better now that I'm older, for sure. Like, I can definitely sit in a moment. I don't feel like I have to make a movie every 5 seconds. I feel like I have other things that are more, that I kind of gauge my success at. It's not just work related. But I also, listen, after you win an Oscar, there's a part of you that can go, oh shit, like, what do I do now? Like, how do I what am I stepping up to now? Like everything's going to be shit after this. And then after you realize like, yeah, it's probably going to be shit. You just go like, well, the fuck that then I'm just going to fucking make movies that I want to make. Like I got an Oscar, bitch. Like I got nothing else to prove. So let me just fucking make shit that I want to make.
So fucking
It's
nice.
great. It's very freeing.
Something I think a lot of people obviously respect you for is the way that you have transformed yourself for so many roles. Like you've gone bald, you've gained 50 pounds, like you've gone bald sounds like
I was like, that was a shaved head, bitch.
No,
like
you
we don't have to
shaved
go
your head.
that far.
No, but like, you know what you've gone bald. You know what I mean? Well, you were bald. You shaved your head.
There's a buzz and there's bald. Like let's
You've
just
gone bald. You're like,
Yeah.
I buzzed my hair.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you've really taken things to the extreme. How, when you were doing those things within your career, did it affect your confidence or did it not?
No, I found it very freeing. I think that it's much easier for me to kind of lose myself when I'm working to really kind of be a good actor. Like if I look in the mirror and I see Charlize, I'm like, oh, like this is just all feeling like now I'm just feeling like I'm being like a fake version of myself. I don't know. There's something for me. Maybe it's because I come from the world of dance. There is a real appreciation for costume and music and like this kind of vibe that you have to set to this world that you're creating. And I don't know how to work without that. Like I am always in awe of actors who can just, Philip Seymour Hoffman, just be Philip Seymour Hoffman and be fucking amazing in every movie, but that's not who I am. Like I really rely on finding a character from the outside in almost sometimes.
Let's talk about your dating life.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Hard pivot. Let's swerve. Okay.
So when you were bald.
So I literally was about to say, so now that you're not bald anymore, okay, so obviously we spoke about it earlier. You've been outspoken about never wanting to probably get married.
Yeah.
And once you kind of accepted that, like how has that impacted your dating life, knowing that you're not looking for marriage, like with men, and how has it affected them with you?
Well, I think there's okay, let me just be clear. Marriage is a long-term commitment. And I think I want long-term commitment. I just don't need to get married. So I just want to clarify that. I will tell you in all honesty and the work that I've done on myself, I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that I have a tremendous fear of not being able to get out of something. And that's again, me just understanding me. Right. And, now obviously by California laws, after 7 years, you're in a fucking marriage, whether you walk down the aisle and sign the piece of paper, like it's 50-50, bitch. Like, let's just be clear. So I'm like, my semantics is like crazy, but I want, if I were to find a relationship, I would think of it as something that I'm aiming for long term. I've never been somebody that really wants to like jump from one thing to another. From the time that I was in relationships, I was in one relationship after another relationship after another relationship. And so when I earlier said I'm having sex now for the first time like I never had before is because I'm not in relationships. And it's not because I don't want to be in relationships, but I'm seeing things for what they are, right? I'm not trying to force a circle into a square or whatever the fucking American saying is, the peg and the hole and I can never say it right.
I think that was right.
No, but when I meet somebody, I can see where it's going to go pretty quickly.
What is relationship you like versus single you?
So this is what we were talking about earlier. Like I am ashamed of being a person in a relation, or that I used to be, I should speak now. I've done a lot of work, but I used to be someone in relationships that would lose herself. And again, it's that thing, you're such a fucking power bitch. Like you're a baller. Like why? That couldn't be you. But it goes back to how I looked at girls who were I've never really had a lot of practice in just being confident and like saying I've always felt like I've had to like protect other people so much that codependency has just remained in my relationships. So I used to be a person that would watch herself, would also attract narcissists, men who wanted me to kind of treat them that way. And if I didn't, there was a lot of conflict, and I actually don't like conflict. Yet again, something people are always surprised. I don't like conflict, but when I feel like if I feel like I have to choose between conflict or just placating, then I will placate because I don't want the conflict.
But when you're in those type of relationships that you've lost yourself, how have you pulled yourself out?
Friends. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Great friends. Like, and now I'm going to cry. Just great girlfriends. Wow. Yeah, because I think sometimes you can't see when you're in it.
At all.
And you need a friend that doesn't hit you over the head, because you won't leave until you can see it for yourself. And a good girlfriend knows that. And so they support you while you're in the darkness, because that's all you have. Like, you need that support. And I've put some girlfriends through fucking hell. So yeah, I love that the show's for women. Fucking girlfriends. You need good girlfriends.
But I think that the biggest also point that I want to highlight that you just said is, like, there's a difference between being a really good girlfriend and then when someone's in a really unhealthy relationship, making them feel shame about it and being like, we can't fucking do this again. We can't.
You're an idiot.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You then pull away. And if anything, you lean more towards the person you're in the relationship with.
The dysfunction.
And we've all been there. If you have one of those great friends, and I've had it with my friend where I was in a horrible situation, and then when you give them a light opening because you're really looking for them to pull you out, and they're like, okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, and then they slowly pull you, and then you're out, but it takes you opening even like a crack in the door.
Yeah.
Because if you don't want to hear it, it's like the same thing like we were saying earlier with therapy. You can't fucking force someone to go to therapy. They're going to sit there with their... They're like, I'm not going to listen to you. They have to be ready. And the only way they're going to come to you, though, as a friend, is if you've been there with them. And I know it's hard as a friend, but there's always
so hard. That's
so
the thing
hard.
that makes me emotional, because it's the patience. And it's so hard when someone you love so much is just constantly hitting their head on the same wall. And all you want to do is to remove them from the situation. And you know that you can't, and you have to like walk this fine line. Yeah, I don't know what I did in a past life. I really do not what I did in a past life, but fuck me. I have been blessed with really, really good people in my life.
That's half the battle.
I'm a lucky bitch.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by Neutrogena. Summer is here and the sun is shining. You need powerful sun protection that feels light on your skin. Meet Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen. This SPF 70 lotion absorbs fast with a smooth, dry touch finish, so you'll forget you're even wearing it. It blocks 97% of burning UV rays and is water resistant for up to 80 minutes. Lightweight, effective, and perfect for sunny days. It's just what your summer needs. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Sunscreen. You can't feel. Shop now at Target. When you're having these like fun little new romance moments that you're in your era of not dating, but you're getting to have good sex.
Yeah.
How are we meeting these men? Are they men in the industry? Do you not want a man in the industry?
No, I don't. No,
You
my
don't.
God, no. I have zero interest. And again, like I say these things, you know, in a very glib way, but I don't think that dating somebody in my industry is a smart thing.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
not. It's everything. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that it's that binary. I just think that in general, it's not a good thing for me.
So how are you meeting these people? Are you on the apps? Are you out dating? Are your
I
friends?
am on the apps, but I don't use the apps. I am.
Love that. It's so relatable.
I have a few friends that are very, very good, and one of them I know is listening to this right now, who always is like, okay, you need to come here right now and you need to meet this person. And I'm very grateful for her, and you know who you are. And I have not been brave enough on a lot of her offers, but recently I have. And it has paid off tremendously. And so, yes, my dear friend Amanda out there, when she says like, you need to just, we'd be in fucking Paris, be like, you just need to fucking like come and say hi to this guy right now.
So fun.
And yeah, and then it totally pays off. And I'm like, yeah, I need to do that more often, honestly, because the apps are just horrible.
Oh, it's hard.
No, it's not hard. It's a clown show. I'm sorry, guys, but please, like, no, like, I need, like, honestly, not because I want to date you, but because I want to help you. No Burning Man photos. No photos of you with other women. Like, I don't care. I don't want to know that you have girlfriends, and I don't want you shooting a fucking selfie in your closet of your hand in a jean pocket. I'm sorry. I don't want to see you looking at yourself in a mirror that way. It makes my vagina close. I just can't. And don't tell me you're a CEO, because you're not. Like, I'm sorry. Of what? Of some business you can't explain to me that none of my friends can understand? Like, no. And then, no, you don't live in this apartment no, you do not have a business. Stop. You're a fucking joke. You know, I get wet when you just tell me who you are. Like, don't be pretentious. I'm sorry.
Picturing you on the fucking apps with your girlfriends over like wine one night, being like, let's just open this shit up.
Well, by the way, that's how it started. I was like drunk enough to have a girlfriend be like, let's just fucking do it. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that's how I ended up on this fucking app. Listen, I could take myself off the app, but I am like secretly fucking enjoying the joke.
It's great.
It's the joke. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean.
No, it's okay.
I'm not trying to be mean. But like, I'm trying to like help. This is like, think of this as like help. As I'm a 50-year-old woman telling you, don't do it. Girls don't like it. They don't fucking like it.
It's so true.
Yeah.
The hand in the jean in the closet.
I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry.
The CEO is also crazy.
Oh my
and he like
God.
works for his dad.
Yeah.
He works for his dad. Okay, how do we feel about sex on the first date?
Well, so what do you consider a date?
Oh, are you going on dates?
Yeah, but I feel like when you like, there's certain circumstances where you meet somebody at a party and you have sex and then that's it. You know, that's what it is. You're not thinking you're going to marry this person.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Are you down for a one night stand?
Yes. I don't have many of them. I'm sitting here sounding like I do. So when I do, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I should have done this in my 20s. I was married from the time that I was like having sex to the time that I had my last relationship. Then I had children. Who has fucking time for dates and shaving and waxing and makeup? And like, I've got 2 children that have to go to school. Then I gotta, like, this shit's on a time. Like, do you need me to send you a call time?
I'm obsessed.
And it's this, you got 2 hours. Like, what's happening? Because like, I need to know.
Wait, do you have any sex tip for the girls?
Sex tip? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, how to have good sex? How to what? Have an orgasm?
Anything that like you think of girls could just like, you're hot, you're having good sex.
Okay, you're like, I almost choked. I am the last person to ask. I'm like sounding very cocky here, but I think it's because I have found this freedom in my 40s where I'm like, oh my God. So I just want to say this in perspective. I've probably had 3 one-night stands in my entire life.
Okay.
But I did just recently fuck a 26-year-old and it was really fucking amazing.
Fuck yes.
Yes. And I've never done that. And I was like, oh, this is great. Okay.
Let me just say that 26-year-old is the luckiest fucking man walking on this goddamn planet. He's walking different today, knowing, oh my God.
He for sure is not, but thank you.
No, he is. He is.
I will just say this. Like, I wish that this goes back to, I think this is kind of like a thread throughout our conversation. Women who come across as confident, women who come across as like outspoken, ones that wouldn't speak up for themselves, tend to also be in bed people who want to please males. Like, and I have found this in my experiences with talking to other women about this. Isn't it strange? Like, we should be the ones that are like, fuck you. Like, I'm going to have an orgasm. And yet my whole life was so concerned about
Same.
the same.
Same.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So my advice would be this. Don't fucking do that. For 2 reasons. You're going to have better orgasms. And guess what? Your man's going to like that.
They're going to have such a better time too.
Yes.
It's so
yes.
true. It's really hard. I think back to my 20s and in college, like I was so thinking I was doing the right thing. And when you get the feedback of how great it was, and then you're walking away feeling great, but then you're also like, I don't know if I've even had an orgasm in my life before. Like this is kind of, is this what it's supposed to do and be and what? And then the minute, and it takes reps. Like sometimes it just takes you like getting, because no man is like, unless he's the most amazing man in the world, which go find him, but no,
not gonna happen.
It's all of these men, it's about them, and they're not actually being like, I know it takes you longer than my fucking dick just getting off in 2 seconds. So it's like, it's a process to you advocating for yourself in the bedroom, being like, hold on, and actually then speaking up. But it takes time. But I agree, once you hit that part of your life where it's not just like, oh, I'll just like do it and then like he'll get off and like I'm like faking it, your life changes.
And practice helps. You just have to practice and then you'll figure it out. Yeah.
That's good advice, see?
Yeah. In the safe way, please.
Okay, yeah, please. Please, for the love of God. Okay, what is the biggest dating disaster you've ever had?
Oh my God. I had a guy once ask me to make out with his nose, which was really, really probably one of the most bizarre asks ever. Yes, in a very like he was getting off on it. That was really gross. I would say aside from that, nobody's ever asked me to do something that I was like, whoa, that's really fucking weird. Like, I guess I like weird shit. Like, I'm not like thrown by weird shit. Like the nose thing was the weirdest thing.
That'll do it.
Yeah. But I'm not like thrown easily. So that's why I think I'm kind of like, oh, this sounds, well, let's see what happens.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play a game.
I'm having the best
Okay,
time.
you are?
We are crying and we are laughing and we are
I'm never going to get over the bald comment. Like that. Jail for me. Okay. All right. I'm going to go through some dating scenarios and I want your opinion. Are you in or are you out?
Wow. Okay.
Okay. He tells you he loves you after 1 month.
That's usually what I would do.
Charlize!
That's like a Charlize move. Oh my God. This is like a constant joke between me and my friends. This is how unhealthy I am. Like, I just will tell you I love you in a heartbeat. Like, I've never understood this conversation. Like, have you ever been in love? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm in love all the time. Like, I while I'm fucking you, I'll tell you I love you. Like, and for a long time I was like, this is not healthy. And then I just went, this is who I am. Like, honestly, like, I'm not going to beat myself up over this anymore. So I'm going to say that's okay. I don't know if I want to hear it from a guy though.
Fair. So fair.
I feel like, again, it's like the photo, the selfie, like, no.
Like, calm down.
Yeah. Let me be the one that's like, I think I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make me chase you just a little bit.
Yeah.
God, don't be
Can you believe it? I'm in love with you.
Then you're literally at home being like, oh my God, I can't believe he believes that. Anyways.
But maybe I am.
How quickly do you actually think you know if you're in love with someone?
In all seriousness, I feel like I have the ability to go there pretty easily. For someone who's as like, have been so, I think maybe it is because I've been so protective of my life and I have to protect so many things in my life that there is, and it's maybe why acting feels safe to me. I have the ability to kind of like go into that kind of like reckless, vulnerable place.
It's beautiful.
Easily. Yes.
Have you ever had a guy tell you that he loved you and you were not on the same page?
Yes. Yes.
It's tough.
Yes.
And do you just let them down easy, or?
I am going to be honest with you. I'm not good at letting people off the hook easily.
Do you say it back?
No, I don't say it back, but I don't know how to, like, I will pretend and then I'll probably ghost. Like, I know it's really terrible and I have to work on that.
I love it.
But after that, I just don't know, like, it's part of me is like, I don't know. It's a lot of time to get into like the softness of all of this. And sometimes I just think it's easier to just be like, let's just not.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Because I don't love you.
Yeah.
And it's easy for me to tell people I love them. So if I can't say it back, you're really a fucking loser.
There's a big problem here. Like, it's not going to happen.
Holy shit. Okay, you caught him going through your phone.
No, I don't like stuff like that.
Have you ever caught someone?
Listen, when most of my dating and serious relationships happened, there were no iPhone.
She's like, no iPhone gang over here.
Yeah, we didn't have that
problem.
We didn't have, I mean, like, isn't
Love.
that? Yeah, but I don't like stuff like that. Even with my kids, like, my kids find it really hard that I'm like, I don't want to go through your phone. I want to be able to trust you.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Yes.
How did you find out?
I found out after, not while I was in the relationship, but I always felt it. Like, again, it's that little voice. Yeah, but it wasn't worse for me because part of me was like, that wasn't the reason why I broke up with the person. And also, I don't think it was constant all the way through. I think it was like towards the end, or it was like somebody thought like a blowjob wasn't cheating, like shit like that, But
classic them not thinking of blowjob
Yeah.
is cheating. Just the classic
you know.
white stuff of men. Like, that doesn't count. Oh yeah, no, you getting your dick sucked did not count. For sure.
No, not at all.
Totally
Yes,
fine. You're
100%.
good. Did you ever confront him about it, or no? You just let it go?
No, because most of the time I found out afterwards.
Yep.
And then by then I was like, I couldn't give two fucks.
Okay, he hates cursing and asks you to stop saying fuck.
Impossible. Absolutely. If I can't do that in front of my children, do you really think I'm going to do that for you? Go fuck yourself. And I don't even love you here. Like, this is like before I've even told you I love you. So
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay, what is something you'll never compromise on in a relationship?
Now,
Mm-hmm.
I think I've talked about it. I will not lose myself. I will not make myself smaller, and I will not do things that are not authentically. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be selfish, but I will not make myself somebody that I'm not for you to feel better about being in a relationship with me.
I fucking love it.
Oh, thanks.
No, because it's like you being aware that that's your one thing. We all have that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I had that for so long where it was like everyone knows that one thing that you're like, okay, this next time I've got to stand my ground and I can't let myself do X, Y, or Z. And I think that like, for me, mine was like, I really loved the games. Like, I was like addicted to like the push and the pull and the put. And
The
I'm
drama.
like,
You wanted the drama,
And I'm
yeah.
like, what am I doing? I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
And like, I want to feel safe. So why am I doing this? And finally,
Why?
we're still working on that. I still don't fully know why.
Do
I
you
was
still
doing
do
that.
it? Or-
No.
Okay.
I am so happy.
You're aware of it now.
Matt was the first person that literally, it was like like a month or so in, and he was like, I don't know what you're doing, but I have literally no interest in it. So let me know if you want to continue or I'm done. And I was literally like,
wow.
I'm in love with you.
But you obviously didn't stop it straight away.
No,
like,
it was a concerted effort for me to
Yeah.
recognize like I had become used to a pattern.
Yeah.
And it became familiar to me. And then
Yeah.
you jump right into the next thing. And a lot of it made me feel like if we fight, then when we come back together, we feel closer. And it was a bad cycle I got into. And then Matt was the first person that I broke that cycle for. And it was like I made such different life decisions with him that I was like, wow, I must really love you that I'm trying this hard to like not
That's
be.
amazing.
Yeah. So,
That's
we all have our
amazing.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you told him right there you loved him. That was
Yeah,
it.
then I was
That
like,
the
let me take my pants off, fuck me, and I love you all in one night. Let's go. Woo!
No
He's
games
like,
here.
this bitch is crazy.
You're like, you want no games?
No, literally, let's go.
Yeah.
But actually, that is
We're
something
getting married.
No, tonight. Let's go to Vegas. He's like, you're insane.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your new movie, The Old Guard 2.
Yeah.
What does it feel like playing this character again? Like, is it exciting to get to do something a second time?
Yes, it's challenging, but also yes, it's exciting because I've been wanting to do television for a while, or like a limited series, because I've never experienced having several hours to kind of build arc and explore a character. And so like my 20s, it's always felt like pack it in 2 hours or under 2. And so this was nice because it gave me an opportunity to kind of like go and revisit a character that I had played before, and I'd never done that before. But it also makes it challenging because then you're like, well, what do I want to go and explore? Like what are the themes that or the behaviors that I didn't feel like I fully fleshed out on the first one. So then it becomes complicated in that sense, but good complicated.
Okay, you're hanging out of a helicopter in the movie.
Yeah.
How do you even train for something like that?
You don't. There's no training for that. I wanted to do something. I don't like risk. I like challenging myself, but I'm actually not like like I have kids. And even prior to that, I'm not like someone's like, I don't give a fuck. Let's just jump off this roof and see what happens in the water. And I'm not one of those people, but I do like the challenge of being a producer and being able to have some power over talking about that developmental part of what is the narrative and the action, because that's where you can start to challenge yourself a little bit. And if you're making these movies, you should be asking those questions.
Right. What is the most insane stunt that you've ever done in your career?
Well, that would probably be one of them.
Yeah.
But if you hear the story behind it, it's not as crazy. It looks insane. That's why we did it. But it was explained to me by this incredible man, Fred North, who is like the guru of all helicopter stuff and movies. He's like, this is really safe. No one's ever really done this, and you can do this completely practical. And that's really what I was looking for, was to do something that we didn't have to go on a stage and fake, and that I could have some cred and have a behind the scenes video that looked really fucking badass, and I could be like, yeah, and that's me right there. But yeah, so that's probably the craziest things. But I've done hard. I mean, I just had elbow surgery 4 weeks ago. I did this movie in Australia. I just wrapped it like a couple of months ago. I play like a professional rock climber, like a free soloist, kind of like rock climber. And I worked with a mad director from like Iceland who just like was like, you have to climb the mountain. And I was like, holy fuck, like he's going to actually make me climb this fucking mountain. He's like, for the next 3 weeks, we are only shooting this mountain and you are climbing this mountain. And I fucking climbed that mountain barefoot, like no shoes. Like it was insane. I look at the footage now, like I go back to the dailies and I go, what the fuck? But it's amazing. It's like you're in it and you just kind of go like, wow, it feels good to feel this strong that I can do this.
Picturing you barefoot climbing up and just being like,
yeah, and they were making these silicone feet for me to protect my feet and stuff, and I was like, I'm from Africa, okay? I didn't have shoes until I was 13. Like I climbed trees. I don't have, and I was a dancer. I have no fucking feeling in my feet, okay?
Put me in.
Yes, I'm gonna be fine, you guys.
She's perfect for this role.
Yeah.
Thank God we got her here. Holy shit, this is amazing.
At the end, this madman of a director who's fucking brilliant, and I love him. He never gave me one compliment. It was like my dad relationship all over again. I was trying to please this motherfucker every single day. I'd like be on the top of the mountain. I'd be like, my elbow, I couldn't feel. My fucking toe was broken. My ribs were, and he'd be like walking away. And I'd be like, what did he think? He's like, oh, he went home. And at the end of the film, he like pulled me and he was like, you were fucking amazing. And I was like, all right, I deserve that.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got the approval.
Yeah.
Thank God. Did your daughters go to the premiere last night?
They did. My youngest likes to kind of like just ride along with me. The movie isn't right for her. She's too young. There's too much violence in it. But she walked with me because she knew I was going to go home afterwards. So she just walked. She didn't just waited for me, and I said a little thank you in the theater, and then we went home. And I was like, she was like, why don't we watch? I said, no, I'm so tired. Like, we're going to go home. We're going to have a girls' night and we're going to have ice cream. And we got like the ice cream out of the freezer, and I had like a half a pound of ice cream. And then I fell asleep like an old man, literally. Like, she was like, really, this is our date? Like,
this is your premiere night?
Yeah.
I wish that was the headline. Like, you're in this gorgeous outfit and then you get home. Little does everyone know, you're like, I'm on the couch with my ice cream.
Like, I was shoving a Haagen-Dazs, and I was like, I should walk this down to the freezer because it's going to melt. And I was like, fuck that. Nope. I'm rich. It's fine. It's a half a pound of fucking Haagen-Dazs. Like, what am I worried about?
So good. Do your daughters understand like who you are and what you do fully?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I feel like maybe. I think that they've been around it. Most of the movies that I've made since they've been around have been during the summer because I don't want to leave them. So they've been on every set that I've worked on from the time that they've been in my life. So they know that is mom's job. They obviously don't, they don't watch the kind of movies that I make. So in their eyes, I'm like some dinosaur, right? And so like every once in a while when I work with somebody, they're like, wait, you know her? Like, oh, Renee Rapp's coming on Saturday? Or like what? Like every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers. Like,
I'm cool.
yeah. So I was just driving here and my oldest daughter, who's a real bitch, like she does not make it easy on me one bit. Like she does not suffer fools easily. She has never given me a compliment in my fucking life. I was driving here. She was at a sleepover and I called her to tell her that, her sister was coming home and she goes, oh, I really liked what you wore last night. I almost fell off my chair. The phone fell out of I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, be cool, be cool, be cool.
You're like, thanks.
Yeah. So they play with my emotions, I think.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
It sounds like you are such an incredible mother. You're a great daughter. And you've had such an incredible career and you will continue to have such an incredible career. And like, this is why I love my job is getting to meet you. I had no idea what to expect. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know.
This fucking woman that can't keep a man.
this
nutty
crazy
bitch. Like, let's see how this.
Bald.
Now I understand.
But I didn't know, And I think, not that it was bad or good. I was just like, oh, I'm excited to meet you.
Yeah, yeah.
And in getting to speak with you, it's so inspiring hearing what you've done with your career, what you've done with your family. I think it's such a testament to women. And it's really, I hope, a message to women of like, you really can create your own path. Yeah. Your past doesn't define you, but be aware of your childhood and any trauma you've had. Yeah. And you've done such an incredible job, like making your own version of what you want your life to be, which is so inspiring for women to hear.
Yeah. And I'm still trying.
Of course.
I'm still figuring it out.
Of course.
Yeah. But we should definitely try for sure. Life is too short.
As you enter this next gorgeous decade of your life, what are you the most excited for?
Okay. So everyone's like talking about the celebration. You're the first person that's ever asked me like, what is this next chapter in my life? Right. I think outside of what I touched upon, which is that I do think about like, because it's very real. My oldest is about to be 14. Like I will be an empty nester soon. I think about that a lot because I love my fucking kids so much that they can never know because I can't imagine my life without them. And the idea of them not being in my fucking house, like scares me enough to be like, who is this sad man that I am going to fucking catch in 6 years? And be like, you can have my whole closet. Just don't let me be alone in this house.
So real.
Aside from thinking about that, I don't know because work feels really satisfying. I really feel so blessed and so lucky that I get to do something every single day that I love. It doesn't feel like work. And I'm glad that I get to show my kids what that looks like. To find something that you love. If you can have a life where you don't feel like you're working, but you are working hard, that's a very rewarding life. And not all of us get to have that. So if I can continue that, and make sure that my kids are okay, like that's going to be okay for me. I'm going to be okay.
This is good to know. So whenever we see you pop up with a man, we're like, oh, the kids moved out. That's literally our barometer.
Oh, she must be 18.
Oh, shit. Shit. She's miserable because the kids are gone. This is just the fucker that happened to be at the coffee shop earlier that day that she's like, you're moving in with me, motherfucker. And he's like, shit, I get to be with Charlize Theron.
My secret's out. I just fucked myself. Yeah. Well, there goes my vagina's joy. Like, that's not happening anymore. Thank you, dude, Alex. Really great.
No,
I will tell this man I love him before I know his name. I will hook him so fast.
And you'll hook him up. Good closet, nice life. We're doing it right. We're doing it right.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for coming on. This was truly a pleasure. You're such a good hang. And it felt like I forgot there were cameras. Like it just felt like we were
Yes.
having really nice girl talk.
I
so
was
thank
looking
you.
forward to this because it's nice to know you. Like I feel, not in a weird way. I'm not going to tell you I love you.
Come on.
It's nice to know a little bit about you. And I'm a huge fan, by the way.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
a huge fan too. So look at us. Woo!